One, clap. Okay, wait, did you clap?
I did, yeah.
Alright, well, hello everyone. Welcome to Bolter and Book. The first episode, Shawnee.
Numero
The first
uno.
episode. How long have we been trying to start this?
We came up with this idea, I think, like 2 or 3 months ago. And we've just been like, it's been one thing after another that's been like pushing it back.
Oh, yeah, no, like, we gotta get our little guys drawn. You probably see him fucking quivering right now on the screen. Yeah. we had to get a guys drawn, then I, like, for some reason got, like, autistically obsessed about fucking getting an intro song made for some reason. And I had my college friend do it, and he took all of my stupid references from 80 metal albums and, like, fucking... I literally was sending him pictures of, like, the Judas Priest album. I'm like, make it sound like that. And he's like, what do you mean?
I mean, listen, he nailed it. He nailed it.
Oh, no, you guys just heard it. It sounded perfect.
Hell yeah.
So what we're trying to do here is we wanted to make a podcast which really goes in depth into the books of Warhammer 40K, because I honestly, like, I liked a lot of the podcasts coming from, like, some of the other people out there, but I feel like they kind of, like, give the wrong idea and play too much into the 40K stigmas a little too much, like oh, Fulgrim likes to have sex, and, like, Lorgar's a bitch, and, like, you know, it's, like, it's funny, the memes are funny, but I feel like it also breaks your perception of, like, what the actual lore is. So I wanted to make, like, the most brass tacks, we read the book, you're in the fucking book club, you better be reading the book, reading it with us, and we just go through it and give our opinions on how it changed how we view, like, the lore in general. And then as we read more and more books, you're gonna follow, like, how our opinions change different characters. I'm Lonely, and I am a fan of Space Marines mainly. I started off as, like, an Iron Hands player, and then basically I realized that Iron Hands have, like, almost no support in the fandom or any lore. I think they have, like, 1 or 2 novels and like 5 short stories, and that's it. Shawnee, that's it.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, oh. So I feel like for me, when as one of your gracious hosts, I won't be really biased towards any particular faction. I'm of the opinion where I love almost all of the factions, almost. And I like to give them all a fair shake, because I feel like some people get very faction diehardy, where they just want to hate on certain factions. But here, I want to keep it like, oh yeah, no, everyone has their own book and own story to tell.
Yeah, fair enough.
Shawnee.
So I am, you already heard my name, Shawnee. I started out primarily as a Space Wolves fan because I heard the story of the Months of Shame, and I was like, that's cool as hell. I haven't actually read too many books, and that's honestly another reason that's, like, I'm on this is I'm always coming at these books from, like, a very fresh perspective of some idiot who is just really getting into the lore. Like, I've played the games, I've played Dawn of War, I've played Space Marines 1 and 2, all that stuff, but now I'm, like, diving deep into the roots, and I'm glad that I can actually get a real handle on, the lore directly, instead of just absorbing it osmosis through, like, memes and shit, because it's nice to actually be able to listen to the story, keyword listen, because I can't read.
Okay, like, I feel like it's a little bad that we both mainly listen to all the books that we read, because, like, this is a reading podcast. Give me credit. I have read some of the physical books. I have read the first book of Solar War and the first book of Solar War. I'm pretty sure. Wait, no, I'm reading Gazgul right now, physically. Okay. Also, I can read, but, like, I usually read when I'm at work. Also, good thing that you bring it up more on, like, how you interact with the game, because I mainly go into the lore. I didn't really cover that. I just more covered what, like, I was a fan of, like, Iron Hands. But I love reading. Because I was working a job for, like, 8 months, and all I did was listen to books every day. And I was like, yo, Shawnee, we should start this. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, we could like read some books together. And then he's like, Lonely, how many books have you read? And I'm like, 12. in the past month, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
That's a lot.
So I have a big backlog on knowledge, and you'll be finding out with this book because I had to reread it because I read this book like a couple like months ago at this point, and yeah, I definitely needed a refresher after consuming like fucking 30 plus books. But the other way I mainly interact with the game of the great game of 40K is mainly I love painting. Painting's like my jam. I love doing dioramas. That's my main thing. I also do like playing a bit. But I also, I think the biggest way I enjoy this is really just the lore. I love everything about the lore and like the different stories that you get out of this. So I guess now we go into how the podcast is going to be run.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, as we're like, since this is the first one, we're gonna start out everyone pretty similarly. Obviously, this one's gonna be a little bit more drawn out because you're still like figuring out how we're gonna be doing this. So we're gonna do our intro, like, oh, this is Boulder Book, blah, 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 blah. Then I wanted to start and answering email questions eventually. Once we start getting emails, I don't think we have any emails currently because this is the first one. So
if we had emails, I would be very concerned.
This is a fucking the warp nonsense time traveler fan. He's like, oh my god! Hopefully we get popular, and then people are like sending us loads of emails. But we'll plug our email. I'm pretty sure you guys could spell Bolter and book. It's AND. It's not the end symbol.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions about like the lore, you want us to talk, literally just write anything. Just like ask a question, say something like call us stupid that we had an awful opinion in of this book, or I don't know. Just literally, we'll just be answering the emails in the future podcast.
Yeah, and if you're a little unsure, the email is in the description, and also I'm gonna flash on screen like boom, it's there. Now it's over there. Now it's over there. Now it's over there.
It's just not gonna move. You're gonna come back to that, and it's just literally just gonna be like, fuck. Why did I gotta move it? Oh, I fucking hate past me.
Yeah, past me is a dickhead. Future me is an asshole though. That's why I want to fuck him over.
So first intro, answering emails. Then what we are going to do is, as you're going to find out soon, we're going to do a quick summary of the book. I feel like also will give like a general rating if you should read it, because I know definitely not everyone has read the book yet. And you better go fucking read the book and then come back here as we announce. Oh, I can't wait to announce this fucking book. This book is so underrated. No one talks about it. It's great. So we do a quick summary of the book and like what it's trying to tell. Then we go into all the characters and what we thought about them prior to reading the book and how that changed after reading the book. And that's just so like you get a rundown of who's in the story. The quick summary of the book is also more just like we're telling the story it's trying to tell before we get into the nitty-gritty details, because sometimes it's hard to forget when you go on that. Then after we go through all the characters, we go through all the nitty-gritty details and all the major events, and in the order that they go through. Then after that, we're wrapping it up and just going through the themes and messages of the books and what we thought on it, what it did well, what it didn't do well, basically our general opinions. And then we give a nice little ranking. And as a goal, once we do enough of these podcasts, actually, do we want to keep that as a surprise?
Yeah, let's give them something to think about.
You'll see that later.
Yeah.
We'll do that later. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, Shawnee, would you like to share with the class what book we have read and you guys should totally read and then come back to this podcast for?
Yeah.
Or you could just listen to us.
You could do both. Listen, do like you have us Chinese in one ear, and the book in the other ear, Bible in Chinese.
What? Oh wait, Shawnee, before you say the name of the book, before I mention this book to you, did you know that this was a book? Like, have you heard of this book before?
I actually had heard of this book. This was actually one that I heard actually it was pretty well loved, and it was one of the more well recommended ones.
From what I've heard, people don't really, no one really brings it up. All right, we gotta just say the name of the book.
Yeah. So
you have the honors.
So what we had the honor of reading, and what I had the honor of being my first 40K book was The First Heretic by Aaron Dembski-Bowden. The 14th book
Ugh.
in the Horus Heresy series. So I'm a little out of order, but
Honestly, I feel like I feel like it's a great starting book
I think so.
to
Yeah.
go into the because like people have like the whole like reading it out of order thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I just read the first like 5 books of Horus Heresy, and the first 3 are tough contenders. Those are really good.
Mhm.
But the First Heretic it's great. Like as like it gives you so much in the Horus Heresy. I'll do like I'll give my quick thing of what it is. It's almost like the downfall of the Horus Heresy from a different angle, and it completely changed my opinion of the World Bearers. From because before going into this, the World Bearers in my head were like I would ask people like, oh, what's the lamest like Chaos faction, and a lot of people would say like World Bearers to me because like Lorgar is a bitch and Erebus like started the whole thing and they're manipulators and blah 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 blah, and they like all this nonsense, and I just sort of had a really bad opinion about the Word Bearers going in. I was like, oh yeah, no, they're like the lame faction. They're like they don't have honor, whatever. But this story follows Argyle Tall, and basically like the almost the unwilling corruption of his legion and the subtleness of the fall to chaos that happened.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a good quick summary of what the book is trying to tell?
Oh,
also, it gives a great perspective from Lorgar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, pretty much the same thing. I was kind of of the same mind where going into it, where I was never much fond of the Word Bearers. I didn't really know much about Lorgar other than the fact that, he was the guy who really believed that the Emperor was a god, and all that stuff. And I never really heard much about them after that other than, Erebus, the bitch.
Like, in my head, like, I thought Lorgar was, like, an idiot. Like, oh, like, he told him not to be a god, and he just didn't listen. He's stupid. Like,
Yeah.
But it's not that. It is not that at all.
Yeah, it goes into a lot more, oh, I can't agree with what he did, but I get it. I get why it happened.
Just pain, agony. The book is... It's kind of a... Yeah, we'll get into that later. All right, let's... I feel like we should talk about our delicious characters. Let me pull the list up.
Yeah.
So obviously we have Lorgar.
Yep, the big man himself.
Big, bald, tanned.
Long, tan, and handsome.
Also, I also thought was a great touch is that they made Lorgar almost like Middle Eastern in appearance. Like they describing him.
Yeah,
like he like that religious like area of like the cradle of the earth, like dark skin, because he came from a desert world. What was the name of the world?
I don't think. No, was it Monarchia? Was it?
That Monarchia was the world that he
Yeah, he built that
he
world
made
up,
all
so
nice.
that wasn't
Cautious.
Yeah.
There we go. But like I liked the Why am I talking about what I like yet? We're still going through the characters.
Yeah.
But I did like that factor about him.
Yes.
I guess we could talk about the characters and what we liked.
We can go like a little quick snippets.
Rabute Gilliman makes like a very quick appearance.
Yeah.
But he's kind of just like a wall. You really meet XL Master in this book.
Yeah.
We meet Magnus. Magnus shows up quickly. Also, I loved how they portrayed him. These are like some of the quicker characters that show up.
Yeah. Also,
you do see Corvus
as like a side thing is even as like a Space Wolves fan, I do really like how Magnus is in this for like his brief appearance. It's very cool.
Oh yeah, no, it like changed my opinion on Magnus too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like just the quick snippet of him here. Corvus Corax shows up, Conrad Kurz, Ferrus Manus, Perturabo. Those all show up really towards the end of the book, and they don't have a load of screen time, but once we get to the parts they show up, we'll talk more about them.
Yeah, they have maybe like a chapter at most, and even then, like, yeah, it's not much. But it's very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Corvus does have like some really cool moments.
God, we love our big bird boy.
We love the big bird boy. Corfuron, first captain of the quotation marks of the word bearers, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he's a quotation Astartes, maybe not really.
Yeah, it's like, well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, Erebus.
Fuck him.
Yeah, okay. That's all we
That's
need
all
to
we
say.
need to say.
Dumas, chapter master of this raid son. He doesn't really do that much.
He's not much. Yeah, he's more like a side character.
Yeah. And then the big man himself, Argel Tall.
Argel fucking Tall.
He might, like, even though I read so many books, I think he's still my favorite, like, character.
He's very
standalone.
human.
Yeah, we gotta. Oh my god! Once we start getting into it,
the things I want to say.
The things I want to say.
Yep.
We've been holding back. Zafin, the oddly Russian accident chaplain.
Yeah,
I loved his accent in the book. Like
he very much stood out.
Argel. He almost sounds like Dracula.
Yeah.
We will count one heretic. It's like, we fucking love you. We love you, Zafin.
Zafin, chill, dude. Except when he's not.
Yeah, we got. He's kind of a. He's not even a chill.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's kind of just an asshole.
He is, but I love him.
I don't even think this will come up in the fucking as we go through the story, but like he literally just pokes like anyone who doesn't believe in religion, he will just pester them incessantly and like poke them and prod them and be just like a dickhead, which I love. I love it so much. Okay.
Just imagining someone just saying like, oh my god, religion is fake, and it's like, and yet you'll say, oh my god, curious.
Oh my god, very interesting. Now I must go to Sesame Street to teach the young ones like the glory of the emperor. I fucking love his voice. I don't know, his voice sold it for me.
Yeah.
We have Aquilon, Custodes, and you're like, oh, well, this is the word bearers. Why are the Custodes here? Oh, you'll see soon. Okay, since we're talking about prior beliefs, like in this section about characters, I feel like they did the Custodes a little bit dirty in this book. We'll get to like the scenes when it comes up, but I've never had a book where Custodes felt like a Custodes on how it's described outside of lore. It's like whenever I hear Custodes, I hear like almost like under Primarch.
It's a little bit difficult, I think. I think it's like just the challenge that any author is going to face, like trying to balance like, all right, how do we deal with these near godlike beings but also not treat them? I don't know. I feel like it's a difficult balancing act.
Yeah, no, like to make them like power scale in the story is definitely hard in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have his like little custody companions, which we'll get into. Those guys don't really matter. I have the list of characters on my screen. Just I don't have a perfect memory. Okay.
No, yeah, trust me.
Oh, well, we can't forget probably the second most important character in this book, Cyrene Vala. I don't know how to say her fucking last name. Valeniton. It was like something. Do you remember how they pronounced the last name? It was like Valaton almost.
Yeah, I can't remember. But she mostly is just called Cyrene.
Yeah, they just call her Cyrene. And oh my god, like probably one of my most favorite human characters in any 40K book. She's just so lovable. I don't know why. She's just so innocent and kind throughout the entire story.
It's because of like how fucked up things start out for her, and like you see like in spite of that she just like stays like very nice and kind.
Yeah, she's just like I feel like more story stuff, but like I think she was almost like a prostitute in like Monarchia or something about the red dress.
Oh god,
I think that was her name because I remember them bringing it up, but like she's just like such a sweet person, like in the whole book. we'll go through more of that. Also, these guys are mentioned as characters in Cardinine.
In Card 9.
Which, amazing subplot in the book.
Yeah.
Just, it was, that, in Cardinine was the icing on the cake.
He was.
For me. And Xenu 73, which also gives you a little bit Mechanicus representation for those AdMech boys out there.
I do also, I even have it in my notes there, that Xenu 73 pets all of his robots, and that just made me happy. I like that.
He also gets really frustrated that fucking Incarnadine has chapter pride.
Yeah. It's just like, what are you doing? You're my son.
He's looking at his exposed nervous system. He's like, why do you like the word bearer so much? He like has his brain on it. He literally like mind wiped him, put everything away, put everything back in. And it's just like, he's like, why is this code running? What?
Yep.
And he just, and then, yeah, that's pretty much all the major characters of the book, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, like, did you have any, like, preconceptions that you wanted to bring up?
So the only preconceptions I had were, like, I knew generally about Argyltal, and I didn't know much about him. The only thing I knew is that he had some relation to Karn the Betrayer, the World Eater. That's really all that I knew about him. And like the two of them were friends, but that was pretty much it. I also knew that everyone hated Erebus, and I generally knew why. And reading through the book, I'm like, damn, I wasn't hating Erebus enough.
Oh, just wait till you get through some of the other books. You aren't hating him 1/10 enough yet.
I know that Betrayer apparently has like a real big thing, and I think I kind of know what it is, but I don't know the specifics.
I have not read. I cannot wait. For me, I didn't know anything about Argyltal. He was a completely like new character for me going into this book. Yeah, and also like my opinion of the word bearers was just low, and that was this book almost was the reason why I wanted to start a podcast, because like my preconceptions I feel like have been altered by like the 40K zeitgeist of memes and bullshittery, and it's just like that's not actually how it is, and you should read the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Go read the book. Make sure you read the book.
Read it, forehead.
You're gonna be listening to two idiots recover the book for you. What are you, a YouTube Shorts baby? We'll send you back to Instagram. Come on, read the book.
Go get your lore through Reels. You know what are you gonna do? You know, go through Reels and comments and be like, oh, you know, I see now. You know, Fulgrim does in fact, suck pee-pee.
But we do have the fucking Fulgrim chastity belt.
I thought Lorgar was the joke about him wearing the chastity belt.
Oh wait, yeah, Lord. Yeah, okay.
That's actually another thing. Is like I went in there like with the whole because I love the Emperor had a text-to-speech device. I do think it's a great way for people like to ease people into the lore, but you definitely got to go deeper than that.
All right, for all the people who still haven't read the book, fine, you've won. You can listen to us cover the book.
I'm gonna be looking at you real angry the entire time, though.
People who read the book, you get a gold star. Love you.
Mwah.
Mwah. All right, so I guess we go into the book.
Yes.
Am I correct? Did we cover? Yes, we're on the major events.
We got it. Let's go.
All right.
And I think we're about on time as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I haven't been. Where do you see the time there? Oh, we are on time. Yay!
We're very professional.
Before we go in, we plan to make these 2 hours also, like around
roughly 2 hours,
maybe,
yeah. Give or take.
Mainly because I was in my car and I'd listen to podcasts and I'd go through them too fast and I'd be like, I wish they covered that more in depth. And now we get to do that for you because we're so gracious hosts. Nah, we're fucking losers. Anyway, so it starts off Monarchia, following Cyrene, and the Blueberry Boys come down, Ultramarines coming down, and they're like, oh wow, because Monarchia originally was settled by the Word Bearers, and it was made to be a beautiful city.
Yeah.
So the last time these people had seen anything from the Space Marines was like, they are godly figures giving the word of the Emperor, because that's what they instilled. They instilled the Emperor is something to be worshipped, because like the Emperor was very clear to Lorgar that do not worship me.
Yeah.
Like, or like, do not call me a god.
Which will that gets into a little bit further in.
Yeah. But this place was basically, they had statues of the Emperor everywhere.
They even specifically referred to the Marines coming down as like saying that the angels are here.
Yeah, the angels are here. The angels are here. And then they start praying. And then the fucking Blueberry Boys are like SWAT fucking raiders. And they're like, everyone, you must evacuate this city. Like, leave now. We will annihilate this. And they start freaking out. And Cyrene, which is our titular character, one of the second main character, I would say, is like, stands up to them and is like, why are you doing this? And well, she's also the first to stand up in the crowd saying that these are not the original angels.
Yeah.
Because even though she didn't really believe in the word of Lorgar, which is basically the religion, Emperor is a god, blah, 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 she still had to learn it and saw that they weren't the right color. And she stands up, and then the Marines are like, we're throwing you out of this city, and we're going to destroy it. And it's going to be ashes, and you guys got to go settle elsewhere.
Yeah,
so at least, like, in my preconceptions in the lore, they didn't tell me that they evacuated the city beforehand. So it's not as bad. Like, they didn't just annihilate the city to make a point to Lorgar. Because I was like, wow, the Emperor was really cool. So they did evacuate the city. But, like, they were brutal about it. They, like, you remember the rioting.
Oh, yeah. Like, literally, like, as, like, Cyrene starts running away from them and the crowd starts freaking out and the Marines just gun them down.
Yeah, no, it's just, like, bang, bang. And then, like, Cyrene's, like, she can't even, like, she doesn't even know what to do with herself for a couple days.
Yeah.
And, like, she's, like, in a, like, not a burnt out, but, like, she's, like, in some apartment. And, like, a fucking Ultramarine on a jet bike is, like, telling her, you must leave. And she's, like, screaming at him. This was, like, I love this scene.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And then, like, he's like, just leave. And, like, she's, like, so resistant that they point a gun at her. And then she, like, asks one more time. And he, like, gives the explanation of, like, the Emperor, like, order it himself.
Yeah.
Do you remember more about that? Like, he ordered it, and then, like, we can't say anymore? Was it, like,
yeah,
something like
he
that?
was pretty, like, specifically saying, like, you know, listen, I really can't, I can't go into all the specifics, I can't say much, but just please leave.
Yeah. It was, like, almost, it also kind of shows, like, how by the book the Ultramarines are. Like,
Yeah.
if there is an order for, they will just do it.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
do
like,
not care.
they may not be happy about it. I mean, like, this Marine in particular didn't seem particularly happy about it, but he also was like, it's got to get done.
Yeah. Like, it almost came off as, like, SWAT people.
Yeah.
Like, they took no joy in it, and it was just sort of like, we are the Ultramarines, we are putting on, like, a good face right now.
Yeah.
Like, we are just gonna get this done. So then, as Cyrene is bumbling out of the city, she looks back, and she sees, like, the bright glow of the Ultramarine ships sitting above the city, and just detonation, the city exploding, and it blinds her, and the last vision is her city getting exploded in a giant ball light and just turned to ash. And that's why Cyrene is now blind for the rest of the story.
Yeah, and I also do like the way that it's described as particularly like spears of light coming down from the skies. So it's even then it's like what's the word? Like
Divine.
Mystifying, yeah, mystifying it, like orbital bombardment as like a holy and divine thing.
Like divine, like Sodom and Gomorrah turned to salt waste.
Yeah.
Like total decimation. And I that's very intentional. Like, it's like because like they bring it up later in the book when Cyrene like goes to Cauchus with Argotal. Mm-hmm. Like, a quick thing. They like literally state like how romantic it was, like, because like a woman being blinded, because like women in religion and the idea of like it had like significance in Colchis, and her just being like the last to see Monarchia, and her last vision is it being destroyed. That was the last thing she saw. It blinded her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like for the story, it is kind of like, damn, there's some shuttle stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So I think after 6 days, they were allowed to send out a help request.
I don't know if it was.
They were like, you'll be able to call the word bearers, like something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. I just remember that like the word bearers did come down like a week later or something.
Well, yeah, like it was after a month, so like.
Oh, it was a month. That's right.
Because like they had to like travel through the warp.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of like showing of how important Monarchia is to Lorgar.
Yeah.
Considering he brought the entire legion.
Yeah.
Of 100,000 Marines. He literally rerouted every word bearer's company, because like so basically he brought Monarchy is like, we're calling for help, like where are our saviors, and Lorgar comes in with the entire legion of word bearers.
Yeah, reroutes the entire everyone. Crusade.
Well, not his
entire
of everything
of it.
Like everything.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows how pissed off he is.
Oh yeah.
And when he comes in on his flagship and he like gets hailed by the one Ultramarine, because there's only one Ultramarine ship.
Yeah.
Like the Emperor and like Rabute Gilman had some big balls to like not like bring a whole legion with them after like they were just like, yeah, no, he won't do anything, he's a bitch.
Yeah.
Like because when he talks to that one ship, he is seething in rage.
Oh yeah, like he's still like somewhat composed, but it's all
it's like boiling under the surface.
Yeah.
And also the Ultramarine ship cuts him off as he's like announcing this to his legion. I remember he's like talking to this legion like, a great atrocity, blah blah. How could our like blah 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 like brothers do this to us? And as he's in the middle of like addressing his entire legion, like I think Rabute or like his captain cuts him off in the middle of his voxcast. He's like, you will go down to the surface of Monarchia and muster there, blah 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 blah. And it's just sort of like the disrespect.
Yeah.
Like this is Lorgar's perfect planet while he's addressing his legion, trying to calm down his legion about it. And it's just like, oh yeah, no. Everyone just like oh, yeah, don't listen to Lorgar, just go down the ship.
Yeah, it's also important like to add that it's pretty much described that Lorgar very much cares about like all of his Marines. Like some of the Primarchs like are like somewhat close with them, but Lorgar like really treats the Legion like as his own sons.
Yeah, no, like that's what I loved about Lorgar is like how like much compassion he shows for his sons.
Yeah.
Like he knows knows like a lot of their like where they came from, their like names, what region they came from. Like I remember he brought that out like, oh, like when you grew up in this region of Colchis, when he was talking to Ariel Tal later in the book. Like
yeah.
It's like, wow, Lorgar's kind of like a nice dude.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, as far as Primarchs go.
Oh yeah, like as far as like I think the only one more would be Sanguinius, I would say, just from like other knowledge I have.
Yeah.
Then after that we get to do we meet where is it?
We definitely like meet Argel and Zaphon by that point.
Yeah. And we find out that so Argel is the captain of one of the
Serrated Sun.
No. There's a chapter master of the Serrated Sun.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But we don't really like know anything about him. He is the 7th Assault Company captain.
That's right.
So you just have like a high-ranking captain in the Serrated Sun, which is like 1,000 Marines. And then you have Chaplain Zaphon, who is basically I would say like he's like Argyle's like right hand buddy.
Yeah, more or less.
Like they're hanging out and they go down. Do you want to cover the go down part?
Yeah, so they pretty much go down to the city, and they're all like very tense, and like it really hits them like once they actually go out onto the planet and see just how ruined it is. It really like messes with them, and they just kind of have to like put on a strong face and march towards Monarchia, where everyone is mustering, and you just have 100,000 Marines fully decked out in armor, all looking up at Lorgar, who's waiting to address them. And well, he's addressing them and confronting Rabute Gilliman, who comes down in his own Thunderhawk and talks with him. But actually, I think we also forgot to mention. What's up?
You're forgetting. Well, first of all, like the ash coming down on them, like of the city.
That's right.
It's like painting their armor.
It's like snow, pretty much.
I remember this scene particularly of like Zafin like fucking shitting on Corfiron, who is
not a space
the first
marine,
captain.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, like he's a fucking mutant. And for back reference in the lore, if you guys don't know anything about Corfiron, he is the abusive, horribly abusive, from what I know, father of Lorgar. And from what I've heard, he was super like manipulative of Lorgar, and you'll find out more in the story on why he was. But like Lorgar, like big fan of like his daddy issues, like begged. I don't think he begged, but he wanted to keep his dad around so bad. So they basically forced him through like Astarte surgeries and like gene change enhancements. And he's almost like a rotting corpse. Not really a rotting corpse, but more like a withered man who has been forced to go through like apotheosis a little bit and is like propped up by his Terminator armor, which I feel like is a sick. It's kind of cool. Like you have you literally forced him, not like like he didn't want it, but like he was so important to him that he pushed him through the mold of becoming an Astartes.
Yeah.
So hard. And made him like first captain, which is why Zafin doesn't like him, because he's not a true Astartes.
Yeah, because for those who I'm sure most people know at this point, but most Marines like they go through like training and augmentations and whatnot at like a very young age is when they start going through the process, and even then most of them will just die as they like go through the final stages.
So yeah, Lorgar definitely pulled some strings to get Dad through the fucking, like, instead of sending him to the retirement home on Cautious. He was like, we got you some Terminator armor and some fucking, some monster.
Yeah, some white monster.
You're coming with me. The crusade ain't ending.
But Gilliman comes down, but there's actually someone we forgot to mention in the characters who also makes a brief appearance. And that is...
the sniveling worm, as referred to by Lorgar.
Yeah, Malkador the Sigillite, also known as the Emperor's right-hand man.
Otherwise known as Lorgar shitting his pants when he sees him walks out.
Yeah.
He's like... But then he is intent on this fucking tantrum.
Oh, yeah.
This is his home world, and he fucking... I think he backhands... He backhands so Malkador.
Like, Malkador's like explaining like why they did what they did, and Lorgar's just not having any of it and backhands him. And bear in mind, he's a frail old man. He gets thrown like across the stage, like I think into like the hull of a Thunderhawk or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, like a backhand from a Primarch is not something to like scoff at.
Unless you're Malkador.
Apparently, like he like wizard floats his staff back out, and. Well, we should also, like, say what he was explaining to him. He's like, no, Lorgar, this wasn't right. Like,
yeah, he was pretty much chastising him for worshiping the Emperor because, the Emperor was very clear with you, as you even said. Like, the Emperor was very clear. He is not a god. He does not wish to be worshipped. You cannot have any of this religious iconography, like, in these cities. That is a problem.
And he kind of, like, skirts around the details of it. Like, he's just, like, trying to, like, he's like, Lorgar, this just wasn't good. You weren't following the Emperor's wishes. He's like, like this worm is talking to me, like, and then he fucking like whoops him.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's even getting
backhands his...
angry at Gilliman for like pretty much hiding behind Malkador instead of just like face to face talking with him.
Yeah, because like I feel like Gilliman's almost like he's like, oh fuck, why did Dad make me? Because Gilliman, I think Lorgar and Gilliman kind of hated each other before this, because Lorgar like wants to be a philosopher. He didn't want to be a warrior. He wanted to like build cities and culture and all that and like religion.
Yeah.
And you have fucking like Daddy's boy like I'm gonna do my spreadsheets and do my war and like be like a soulless husk, and Lorgar just despises him for that.
Yeah, it's like Gilliman pretty much is all about like logistics and just like trying to get things efficiently done, which like on one hand can be very good, but on situations like this, it's not great. It doesn't really go well with someone like Lorgar.
Which is one thing I love how they do in the book, is how they emphasize Lorgar's charisma as he speaks to his legion.
Oh yeah.
Like they just like he bleeds charisma when he's like rising up his warriors. But as you know, like Malkador's like, oh, he's not listening to me. Who does he call?
He calls Big Daddy himself.
Big E.
Big E.
Coming. That was. The voice acting for Big E, the Emperor, for this scene is just. This is maybe one of the best scenes in the book, in my opinion.
It's pretty
Lorgar
great,
talking
yeah.
Like, do you want to go through it at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like, you know, him coming down in a beam of light, and even as he comes down, Lorgar's saying like, no, because he knows that the Emperor is coming.
He's like, fuck, like it's actually like his will, like, because Lorgar has so much respect for the Emperor because it's his god. He is the son of a god, and like that's how he views it. And like the Emperor himself comes, and it's like a wash of power. And then like he's standing there, like the Marines can't even look at them.
We should also forgot to mention that like just like as an addition, the audiobook was specifically narrated by Gareth Armstrong, so like he's the one who's doing all this voice acting, so he's very good.
Gareth's a good one. There's not too many bad ones from what I've seen so far. There's some I like prefer over, but Gareth did this book perfectly. I feel like they choose it per book. One of the best ones is the first 3 books for the Horus Heresy, for sure. Those have like all the same voice actor, and he does such a great Horus. Anyway though, so before like going in the next scene, you should know that the word bearers have a tradition of after they compliance a world, they kneel in the ashes of the world and like talk about it almost, and like pray together, I think.
Yeah.
And so the Emperor comes down, and what does he do?
Well, what he does is he first like tries to talk a little bit, and mostly just goes down into giving a single command of kneel, and Lorgar and all 100,000 Space Marines just drop to their knees.
And what I love from Argyle Call, because Argyle Tall is like, it's from his point of view during this whole thing. It's like he said in his head, like, this is like slavery. This isn't like a request. It's just like my body being forced to do it, like my will being crushed under this other force.
The way that it describes the Emperor's psychic power,
it's just like a wash of force going throughout the Legion, and they just have to kneel in the ashes of the city that they built.
Yep.
Then he's like Lorgar is like, you are everything but a god in name. Why can't you accept this? And
like, you spread life, you know, conquer worlds at a whim, and even like what he just did, forcing 100,000 people to kneel, like.
Yeah, and like Lorgar is like, because before this, as you'll learn later in the book, like Lorgar throughout the entire vision, like he grew up in cautious, very religious world. He's slightly psychic, which he always suppressed, and he constantly had visions of the Emperor coming and this golden figure coming. And when he came, like, what do you think he was gonna think? Like, to him, he is like the creator, the god of humanity.
Yeah.
And like the emperor is like, no, this is worship. I told you not to do it. And like as Lorgar talks, he's just like, no. And then I think this is like the worst part is when the emperor basically says like, you guys have disgraced me. Everything, you guys are not as fast. Like, not like he's like saying it's not as fast, but like, you guys are conquering worlds at like a snail's pace like compared to the other legions. You guys are disappointment. Like,
because they don't just conquer worlds. What they like, Monarchia is a world they conquered, but they also spent time building up like all those cities and whatnot. So it wasn't even necessarily just, oh, this is a world that Lorgar conquered that he destroyed. Like, no, this is a world that Lorgar and his men spent time like building up to what it was.
And this is the one that there was like their peace resistance.
Yeah.
Like this is the one that was the most like important to them almost. Yeah. And the emperor basically just tells them like, yeah, no, this is a wash. Everything you guys have done in my name before this is a disgrace to me. You guys can only like repent now in the future when you conquer new things.
Yeah.
And you better change your shit.
None of this empire building, none of this, just conquer. And
then he basically just says like everything Lorgar stands for and believes in. Yeah. And also like Lorgar's whole personality is just valueless to the emperor at this point. Like, oh yeah, like the whole fact that you're into philosophy and you want to build up worlds, blah, 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 I don't care. You're a general. Yeah. Go do general things. And he just sort of poofs back. And Gilliman is just sort of like, also, by the way, we're going to give you some custodian guards to watch over you. Yeah. And like Lorgar's like, he's going to sick his dogs on me to keep watch? Would he do that to your legion? And then like, he's like, I don't remember what how Gilliman responds, but I know that like he like says he's like throwing a tantrum, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then Lorgar just takes out his Crozius, which is a massive fucking mace, and just cracks Gilliman's breastplate. And you just have the entirety of the Legion of the Word Bearers draw their bolters and point it at the one company of Ultramarines. And Gilliman's just like, fix your shit, I'm dipping, almost.
Yeah.
Like, he just, like, dismisses him. He's just like, I think at this point he calls it like, oh, you're done with your tantrum? Okay. And then he just leaves.
Yeah, just, like, fucks off back to his ship.
Alright, and then as Argyle Tall is leaving, he, gets a life sign on his, box. Well, oh, wait, no. That's, we skipped a major part. As, the Emperor, after, like, he dismisses Lorgar, we skipped a major part between, Gilliman and Argyle Tall and Zafin run to Lorgar.
That's right, yeah.
Because he's on his knees crying in the sand.
Yeah.
He, like, it's literally, like, everything he had is just by the God figure. Like, literally God just told him, you are a disgrace.
You're an idiot, everything you've done. Fuck you.
Yeah, and they're like, you can't, they, like, run up to him and is like, come on, stand up. You can't do this in front of the Legion. Because, like, his sons love Lorgar as much as Lorgar loves his sons. Like, they don't want to, like, come on. Like,
they hate seeing him like that.
Yeah, so they literally lift him up, and that's when Lorgar gets, like, the strength to, like, basically, like, fucking just smack Gilliman, like, for embarrassing him, for being embarrassed in front of him. Because it's just, like, so much shame. Like, it's just, I don't know. This is, like, I can see why people like Chaos, because, like, literally Lorgar got shit on here. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
And you learn more about it. Like, Lorgar just wants to build culture and, like improve the world and, like, be a beacon for humanity. And he feels like faith isn't a very important part about that, which, like, you know, like, people do need people want something to believe in, and, like, it's not like it was harmless, because obviously, like, you know, we know how Biggie being worshipped by the God goes, but, like, at this point in time, it was cruel for no reason. It's like hitting a dog that doesn't know what it's doing wrong. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it peed on the bed. It didn't know it shouldn't do that.
And even
And even
still, like, I mean, like, it isn't even just that the emperor was saying, like, oh, I'm not a god, don't worship me. He's also just saying that gods in general aren't real. Don't put any faith in any of them. Just like it's not real. Don't forget about it.
yeah, and like and well also like just shitting on like everything he's done in the Crusade. Like yeah, no, I
Yeah.
hate that you built beautiful cities and all this. It's
Yeah.
worthless to me. Yeah, no, it's just yeah. But so Lord
I want
throws his
humanity
tantrum.
to be the best, but also I want you to have the worst cities.
Yeah, like we will be industrial scientific manufacturers.
Yep.
That's all we are doing. Like, because considering like looking at the other worlds conquered during the Great Crusade, they just turned into wastelands for industrialness,
Yeah,
and
more or
it's
less.
like, yeah, Lorgar like wants to have beauty and like everything. So going back, Argo Tall gets a little life sign and he finds Cyrene
Yep.
wandering the waste, starved from months. Well, not month. I think like a whole month of like not because took a while for the word bearers to get here.
Yeah, and like their food gradually ran out, so it's been a while since she's eaten.
I remember also. I think like they had raiders did stuff to her. Like she like flinched when Argel Tall came up to her,
Yeah.
and like she's like, "Are you a true angel?" Because like obviously they just had the Ultramarines come in,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What's the color of your armor?" And he's like, "Gray," and then like she starts sobbing. He's like,
Yeah.
"You
Also,
are."
one thing to note is like he also had already gotten on the Thunderhawk when he got that life sign. He was already ready to go. Everyone could have left, and then he just sees someone wandering and he's like, "Hold on, I have to help them."
Yeah, which is another thing. Like the word bearers at this point in time care about people. They care about
Yeah.
human life that's like faithful to their vision, and they're kind, which is like something that you don't really see. Like it's uncommon for Astartes,
Yeah.
which great touch. Kind of like makes the book more soul ripping though. When you
Oh, absolutely.
obviously when you find out what happens. Spoiler alert: the word bearers aren't like that anymore.
Well, who would I guessed?
Yeah, but like he's just really caring to her. So okay, like the next part is a little confusing. So after this, I remember there's a whole scene of like Ariel Tall
Lorgar.
talking to Cyrene.
Um, there's a little bit, but I think before that, there's a scene with
Lorgar
Lorgar,
with
Erebus, and Corpheron.
oh yeah, no
Yeah.
that scene.
So,
That's
yeah,
another great scene.
yeah, what's happening is Lorgar is like, feeling like his crisis of faith, and Erebus, who is like he's another chaplain. I believe he's like the first chaplain of
He
the
is the basically like the head. He's like the first captain equivalent
yeah.
for the word bearers. He is their first chaplain.
Yeah.
Also, Lorgar at this time is covered in the ashes. He literally brought ashes from Narkia, and
Yeah.
he's just been covering his face in it day after day.
Yeah, every single day. So well, essentially what happens is Lorgar is like, lamenting how like, religion has failed and whatnot, and Erebus and Corpheron are like trying to comfort him a little bit, and then Corpheron reveals that in some of the worlds that they brought into compliance, he actually kept records of a lot of their old religious ways.
Yeah, that goes like really quickly. Because that's what they ended on. Like, because
Yeah.
they spent like most of it like calming Lorgar down.
Yeah.
Also, I just would like to say with Corpheron and Erebus in the same room, it shows how like good of a manipulator Erebus is.
Oh yeah.
Compared to like Corpheron is like oh no, you should have did this. Like he's very direct, but Erebus is like always like soft spoken, sly, waiting
Yeah.
for Corpheron to fuck up and then like correct him.
Yeah.
Not like correct him like oh you said something wrong, but like say what he said, but like in a softer tone and like more reassuring.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of gross when you know like the background of what their goals are.
Yeah.
Like you just
and
feel
it gets way worse.
and they're like, oh no, like maybe the emperor was never deserving of your worship. Like maybe he like never and like he's just slime and it's just so gross. Also,
Yeah.
like, Lorgar's, like, whipping himself in the back, like, giving himself lashings.
Yeah,
Those,
that's right.
like, the fucking... They're talking about, like, how his blood, like, stunk of, like, chemicals and, like, the weird... Like, Primarch shouldn't bleed, which I just thought
No,
was a
yeah.
cool detail. But, okay, I'm trying to pick my brain on exactly, like, how that conversation went down. That's, like, the general gist of it, but, like...
Yeah.
Like, I'm racking the old brain here on what Erebus... Like, Erebus was sly. Oh my god. He was just, like, he's not deserving of your worship. Like, should, like... And then Lorgar's like, oh, should we just, like, abandon, like, everything's a lie? And, like, he's like, you need to address your chapter soon. Like, they need, like, your guidance.
Yeah. You can't
and
stay
they
in here
just-
forever.
They, like, slowly push him onto the edge of, like, maybe the Emperor wasn't deserving of your faith. And that's when, like, Lorgar starts going into like what he is, how he is, like, a poet. He is he wants to build society up. He wants to be the light of humanity. And that's where we get the great speech from Corfuron of, like, every Primarch and their flaws, almost. And how, like, they try to, like, build, like, Lorgar back up. Like, how Lorgar is, like, the Emperor's almost, like, hope for humanity. And, like, not philosophy. They do you remember that whole scene?
Yeah, like, he was pretty much saying that, like, Lorgar is his, like, hope and his compassion and whatnot.
Yeah.
Things like that.
And then, like, you get the whole great speech on, like, how, like, what every Primarch is, and, like, how Horus is his ambition, but it's unchecked, and Magnus is his curiosity,
but also unchecked.
Yeah, like, not like I say unchecked, but, like, it's his curiosity, but he's not willing. He doesn't know when he's gone too far, and, like, Horus, like, the wolf is, like, the Emperor's wrath, but it's also, like, turned into, like, uncontrollability.
Yeah.
And then, like, Lorgar is like, well, if I'm the hope of humanity, then what's my flaw? And then Corfuron responds, you trust too easily.
Yeah.
Which,
is ironic.
Yeah, considering he's surrounded by the two biggest snakes in the world. And
two people in the galaxy who are responsible for, well, we'll get into that.
And also, like, what happens to Lorgar and who he decides to trust. But they basically go back and through and convincing him to keep, like, his faith. Like, humanity, why humanity needs faith. And they go through this whole conversation on how it's, like, the fuel for humanity. Without faith, people are nothing. They need something to believe in. And that's when, they basically spent, like, a lot of this calming Lorgar down. And then Corfuron's like, oh, I actually saved aspects of the old faith.
Yeah, and initially Lorgar, like, is snappy about it and angry. I think he even, like, starts choking Corfuron.
Yeah,
because
he almost kills him.
Yeah, because
you know
like,
why,
you know,
though?
we were supposed to eliminate these in favor of the Emperor, and you kept them. And he's pretty much saying, is like, yeah, but now that we know the Emperor isn't deserving of your faith, aren't you glad I kept them? And it, like, gives him, like, sort of a crisis.
And then Erebus comes in with, like, a slam dunk on, like, he says some bullshit that just, like, he's like, oh, wow, Erebus, that's actually kind of convincing.
Yeah.
And, like, because they're basically, like, this idea, like, do you remember, like, the pilgrimage? And he's like, well, yes. And do you know why Corfuron kept these, though? Because they talk about the war.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
which they don't go too much in depth to.
They don't. But
basically, what the war on Colchis was this holy war that Lorgar started. Corfuron, Corfuron was from a caste on Colchis. You guys, this like isn't covered too deeply in the book. This is more background information. Also, the backstory of Erebus, but we're not going into that.
Nah.
That's like its own thing. But so basically, there was this culture on Colchis that had priestly worship, and they worship 4 gods.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently 4 people from this world of Colchis went on a pilgrimage. Some of their names were like I forgot their name. One was Slanon, which sounds
A little
somewhat
similar.
similar. And then the names were basically Korn, Zinch, Nurgle, and Slanesh, but like said
There was
somewhat
like
differently.
like an alteration to the name.
And that was the original pilgrimage. And the original faith on Lorgar's world was the worship of these four gods. And they had this corrupt priestly caste that basically did light chaos worship at this point, where they gave offerings, and then this priestly caste benefit off of that. Lorgar comes down to the world, and then he's taken in by Corfeuron, which is in the priestly caste, and then Lorgar starts having these ideas and visions of one god, which is the Emperor, and like even though Corfeuron is so abusive, so this, like he eventually, since Lorgar is such like a force, and he won't be swayed on his view of this one god, eventually he gives in, and like from what we learn now in the book, he's like, yeah, I only pretend to agree with you back then, and when we did, we overthrew the world, and they basically overthrew all the cultists in the name of the worshipping one god, completely changing the religion. And then, just so as it happens, right as they overthrow the world, Emperor shows up, and like Lorgar's like, oh, that was proven right, which also gives more credit on why like Lorgar feels so like slighted. Like he was vindicated when the Emperor showed up, but he's like, I'm not a god. Like, what do you? He's just sort of like, but you are. You were the visions. I overthrew the whole world. That was a lot of the turmoil that happened.
Yeah.
And that's why Lorgar gets so pissed off when like Corfeuron's like, yeah, no, I actually kept the old faith because like that's originally what he was a part of. And Lorgar's like, after all that work we went through on Colchis, you still kept the old faith. Millions were slaughtered, and that was like another part on like Lorgar, his faith being broken. Like we overthrew Colchis and destroyed all these religions, even though they were similar to the old faith. And now we just have to admit that we're wrong. And like, Corfeuron's like, no, I didn't do all of them. And then Lorgar gets mad, almost chokes him. Erebus is like, oh, wasn't that kind of a good thing?
Yeah.
And then, they're like, well, maybe we should go on a pilgrimage.
Let's find it.
They're like, maybe we should make some plans. But we got to cover some other stuff of that in the meantime.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure there's the conversation with Cyrene and Argel Tall. Then there's also the compliance of 4716, which was cool.
There's not too much with the compliance. All I have is that there's like some cool glass robots called the Obsidians.
Yeah, honestly, like the robots were just cool. It was like a city made of glass.
Yeah.
There's some scenes from that though, like the how
the Custodes fight.
I was gonna bring up. You read my mind.
Yeah.
Also, the whole Argel Tall finding the mosaic painting of the Emperor, and like sort of like bringing this question. I'm like, why would they have this here? Yeah, no, wasn't that weird?
Yeah.
I feel like it's sort of like playing into the idea of like why there's so much second guessing, because there's all these signs that there is a higher faith. Because when you're in Astartes and you're going from world to world and you're seeing these similarities in religion, when these worlds are not connected whatsoever, it's kind of hard to deny that there's something.
Yeah, there's got to be something, because like there's no way, because like they don't have any connection to each other, like you said. It's not, and like obviously, like, you know, there could have been some connection prior to the Great Crusade, or even prior to like the downfall of humanity that like caused them all to be fractured to begin with. But even still, like the fact that all these worlds still have these connections, there's something real there.
Yeah. What else, like, was there anything else really? Like, I'm gonna go over the Custodes fight, but like, honestly, just like the descriptions of the city were cool. Like, you gotta read the book.
I think the only thing prior to that is just like Cyrene sort of like getting accustomed to life on the ship.
Yeah, we'll cover that, because that, honestly, I love how they talk. But so they're complying in this world. They're like destroying it. So this is like the first thing that they're conquering after after Monarchia, and it's sort of like they are the fucking word bearers are vicious in this fight. They're glass. They glassed the whole planet, and they couldn't glass the capital, and they are just decimating them. The fight's really cool, but then, all of the word bearers come up, and they see the custodians fighting, and I feel that this was a great detail, talking about how the custodians fight, because they're all like seeing them, and they're like, oh wow, these guys are like perfect fighters, and then Argyle is like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's because, do you want to say?
Yeah, so essentially what it is whereas Astartes, they all fight like together as like a cohesive unit, you know,
As
all
brothers.
like they have each other's backs. Yeah, they're brothers and they're like close to one another, watching each other's backs, like going off of one another. The Custodes are all fighting as individuals. Even though they are fighting side by side, there is no like unity between them. It's all like each of them are a single force as opposed to one unified force, and it just as an Astartes who has like spent his entire life, you know, having the idea of like fighting side by side and as a cohesive unit in his head, it just rings as wrong to him. Like, so there's something absolutely broken with the way the Custodes fight, even though it's very effective.
Which I feel speaks to like the brotherhood of the word bearers.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It also shows generally how the Custodes are, like how different the Custodes are from Astartes, because like they're not just like golden space marines. Like they
are single individual creations, all handcrafted, but they're alone. Like they're all single individuals, which I feel like is interesting. All right, so I guess now we should. So like, there's like the whole scene where Cyrene's talking to Argyle, like for the first time, and like I just love when they talk. It's just like Cyrene's like this like naive, like she's like, well, why must you destroy them? And well, because they don't have like, it's like humanity's destiny to destroy or to conquer the galaxy, and like they don't have that right. And she's like, why? Like, can't we just leave them? And like she asked like all these hard hitting questions, and Argyle like, okay, that's enough questions for right now, because it's almost making him question his own faith.
Yeah, he's kind of like second guessing, like, are we doing the right thing? Not just because of like the Imperium, but also just like something's it doesn't ring right with him.
Yeah, he just like believes it, but he like, cause like when they were like talking about conquering the city, like, oh, there were constructs down there, and she's like, well, isn't that like Xenu 73 or in like the Conqueror or whatever that the name of Incarnadine. And she's like, well, if you said that around Xenu 73, he would kill you because that's an AI, and we do not use AI here. And she's like, why? Yeah. And he's like, well, I don't really know why. It's almost like bringing in like how Argyle is faithful to the ideas of humanity, but he doesn't know why. Yeah. He just sort of is. I also love the comment on like, he's like, well, don't say that to Xenu 73 or he'll kill you, and I'll have to kill him because I like you.
Yeah.
he's like, you're fun to talk to. I would kill him if he touches you. So don't say that to him, because he'd kill you and I kill him.
He'll kill you, then I'll be angry, and then I'll kill him. But he's also useful, and it's gotta be a whole thing.
Yeah, but I love like the conversations she has, and like you're on edge because she's asking all these hard hitting questions. Like it's something that like knowing 40K now, if like someone said that to a space marine, they might just kill him for heresy.
Oh, absolutely.
But like he's a word bearer, and he's so compassionate and willing to discuss with her and like lead her to the right path, which is such a good detail. It just makes you love Argyle so much more, and like change your opinion on the word bearers. Like you're like, oh, the word bearers were the assholes. No, they were nicer than the salamanders. They care. They were like sitting down.
That might be slightly debatable, but I think.
Well, yeah, because like it's like if you don't like follow our religion, then we're probably gonna get rid of you.
But I mean, all the Space Marines would have done that, to be fair.
Yeah, like, I don't know, the amount of compassion he's showing for this person just to help him, and like he just finds them quaint, is just, I don't know. It shows you that the word bearers were a great legion. They were like pretty stand up. But yeah, so they're like having their little conversations. Then, okay. After they conquer 4716,
This is where we get sort of like the flash
this
forward,
is one of my
right?
favorite fucking you know, like,
wait.
So
I remember.
Also, I love that in Cardinine. So basically, they all do the muster and they do the kneeling thing that we brought up before. In Cardinine, in Cardine is honorary word bearer. So he is the only admech he's one of the only admech constructs that are allowed to stand with the word bearers because he has like so many battle honors that they consider him a word bearer. So Xenu 73 gets left behind and his fucking mech has to stand there. It's a mech, so like it's just sort of like technically a robot, but like we'll get more into like actually we'll probably won't get to bring it up again, but like fucking Xenu 7 Incarnine has a glitch in his code where there is a secondary process running whenever he's around word bearers, and it frustrates the hell out of Xenu 73 because he doesn't know why that he's thinking differently around word bearers. And what is this program doing? He literally mind wipes the program. Like there's like organic brain in Xenu 73. He like destroys it and remakes it like nerve by nerve multiple times, puts back in, and this thing still has pride in being a word bearer, and he doesn't fucking know why. And it's just like this little fucking tin man that could, a little word bearer, like saluting off, like he loves being there. He's like, he has little battle honors.
Yeah.
So Lorgar goes to his kneeling army, kneeling legion, after they're like decimating compliance, and he's like, okay, everyone, good job. I have an announcement to make. And the custodian guard, which Argel Tall was just watching with Zaphin, he's like, could you guys please leave? And they're like, no, like, why would we have to leave?
Like, we're supposed to keep an eye on you, Lorgar.
Would you like to say the fucking line that Lorgar drops on him?
Oh, yeah, thank you. So, Lorgar pretty much goes on telling him how, like, you know, hey, I'm better than you. I think not exactly verbatim, but it's like, you are so far beneath me, I would not even piss on you were you on fire.
He calls them the genetic backwash from his creation.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's a Primarch and they're the Custodes, and, like, you are still genetic backwash to me. Fucking leave. And they're like, well, like, we can't. And he's like, word bearers? And then 100,000 bolt guns are pointed at the Custodians. And they're just sort of, they're like, all right.
Fine.
And at this point, Lorgar announces, like, he's sorry that he's been gone for so long. Because, like, he was away from the Legion for a while. Like, he was, like, in Recluse with, what's his face? Erebus and Corphiron. He was, like, recluding away. And, he's, like, announces, like, oh, we're gonna go on a pilgrimage. I'm pretty sure that's what he says, right? Yeah, they'll be undertaking a pilgrimage.
I believe so, yeah. I think it's specifically he's going with, the serrated sun.
Yeah, no. Because first... No. He doesn't say that yet. They said that they're going on a pilgrimage, but before they go, they're going to Cautious. And that's when he meets Magnus.
That's right, okay. That's right, okay, yeah.
So, as they return, then you get to go on a nice little trip to Cautious. Oh, my throat is hurting. It's killing me right now. Do you want to cover the whole as they return to? Do you have the like little thing up I gave you? I sent you a link that like has like all the little bullet points. The
Oh, that yeah. Because I was trying to look at my own notes and I didn't really have.
Yeah, it's like the last paragraph of part 1.
Essentially, after they return to Colchis, a lot of the like pretty much a bunch of the planet has like gathered there because they really revere like all the people who survived Monarchia because they like they see it as like some sort of divine thing. They see all the victims as martyrs, and Cyrene in particular is seen as like a sort of not a messiah, but like a very like important figure as like having been one of the last like observers of what happened.
Yeah, and she was blinded by it.
Yeah.
And she gets the name the Blessed Lady.
The Blessed Lady, yeah. And she pretty much needs to have like Argaltal and his squad like walking all around her just to make sure that she doesn't get swarmed by people.
Yeah, and I love how they're like, just follow our voices, we'll keep watching you.
Like, don't worry about it, we got you. And
fucking Zafin with his Count Dracula ass.
Yeah.
So
but
fucking,
they
do
go
not
to
worry.
They go to like this big dome in the center of the city. They're on their way there.
Oh wait, no, the whole scene like where they're giving oath papers. That's when they come down.
That's right. I vaguely remember that one.
Oh, I could. So
yeah,
they come out of the ships. They come out of the ship and like all these people are hailing them, and like another detail love about, which made me change my opinion on the World Bear, is that like all these people are like crying and like oh, they worship them because obviously like religion, they're the angels, and then like each of the Word Bearers like goes out and gives their oath paper to people, and the people start like crying, and then like Cyrene's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh well, like they really appreciate it, and like Argel goes out and he goes and like the lady's like, oh, I'll name my firstborn after you. And he, I don't know. It's just like a touching scene. I love that part.
It's nice. But yeah, so as that's going on, Lorgar is up in the top of a dome with Magnus, and they're talking, and pretty much Lorgar is like, like Magnus was not necessarily of the belief that the Emperor was a god, but like, Lorgar is saying like, Magnus, you have been all like, you've seen into the warp. You are a very learned person. You've been all over. Have you seen anything
smart
that
man.
Can like, what's up?
He's like, you're smart man, smart book
yeah,
man.
You got a big brain. Like, is there anything that possibly can be like construed as like a godly figure, as like anything divine? And Magnus kind of gets cagey. For someone who likes to like, talk about like knowledge and loves to spread it, like Magnus gets like uncharacteristically cagey and is like,
yeah,
Lorgar,
and
like
they were like good friends before this too. Like in the Emperor's Palace, they would like spend hours talking and discussing philosophy. I think Magnus is Lorgar's closest friend.
He's definitely one of them, yeah. And it's very like strange that he is suddenly like not willing to talk about something, and he pretty much is like telling Lorgar, like, listen, it's not worth it. Whatever you're looking for, it's not worth it. Just try and drop it. I know
it'll be like your downfall if you do it.
Yeah, basically. I know it's hard for you, but whatever you're gonna do, like whatever you'll find, it's just going to make you. It's gonna make you worse. You're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
And then Magnus teleports away, but he doesn't just like poof away. It is a violent explosion that like shatters all of the glass in the dome.
Because the way that teleporting works is that it takes like a massive pocket of air around you with you.
Yeah.
So the massive like pocket of vacuum of air causes like an implosion on the glass dome.
Yeah.
And all the priests start freaking the fuck out. And Argaltal is with Cyrene, like he was giving his oath. Like I think a lot of the priests were bothering Cyrene, and she was like giving them like she was like kind of like trying to play the role of the Blessed Lady, and like it's kind of funny. And they basically like running. They're like, oh fuck, what happened to Lorgar? And they all start sprinting to their Primarch.
Yeah.
And
another thing that I do remember is like, well, this happened like after they ran upstairs, but they ran up and met with him, and Cyrene, like, she is like for the first time like in Lorgar's presence. Like he's been kind of secluded, and she's been like just healing and trying to get her vision back, which hasn't really happened. So she's still blind, but she like Lorgar like like beckons her to approach, and she does, and she actually can see like a faint outline of him.
Yeah,
Like, she
it's
can
his
see
psychic
face.
presence.
Yeah, and like she starts weeping, which granted, like most humans in the presence of a Primarch, it is said that like most ordinary humans will start weeping just because of like the sheer power that they hold.
Yeah.
But like I think she's also weeping not just because of that, but because the fact that she can see like the face of
And
someone
he's like
who
smiling at her like
he's
kindly.
being so kind, and
Well, he praises her. Like, I've heard that you've been like
you've been through a lot.
the confessor for a lot of my, like, apparently a lot of the Legion warriors were talking to her.
Yeah,
and,
because
like,
they felt
asking
comfortable with her.
Yeah, because they're like, what was Cultus like? We miss Cultus. We're like so sad it's destroyed. And they're all like confessing.
Monarchia.
Oh, Monarchia. Yeah, Monarchia. And she's like, I've heard you've been a great comfort to my Legion. Like, he's like praising her.
Yeah.
And like, and she's like, thank you. He's like, I want you to be like their confessor.
Yeah, officially. So she's officially recruited as like a human serf.
Yeah, to like serve the Legion.
Yeah, and she is like
bring up
in tears, honored about it.
Yeah, I know, I love that. I was gonna bring up a much less like wholesome detail.
Yeah.
As they were running up the stairs, like the priests were like asking like they were asking like all these stupid ass questions. Argyle Tall just wants to go in the fucking room to make sure his Primarch's safe.
Yeah.
And the priest is in his way, and he's like, and I remember they describe him like fat and bulbous.
Yeah.
And, like, Argyle just felt like disgusted by him. And he's like, I will kill you where you stand if you keep impeding my progress. And the priest just pisses himself.
Yeah, I forgot. Okay.
Fucking Pope hat. It fucking reminds me of the deflated boner from Texas Speech. Like whenever like the emperor shits on like the priesthood, his hat goes
down. He's like, ooh.
Oh.
No, okay, yeah, but then this is when the expedition is like called.
Yeah, and then Lorgar doesn't order; he requests if he would lead him, and like fucking Argyle Tall, so honored, he loves it. Blah 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 blah. You know, just like, he's like, oh, you like, of course I would do that. He's honored. So this is when Corfeon and Erebus split off.
Yeah.
And it's just the Serrated Suns chapter with Lorgar.
I think there's a couple of other like people going around, but it's primarily the Serrated Sun. They're the ones who get all the attention, at least.
So after they do that, they get to an area where there's like this like massive like warp energy bleeding into reality, and they're like, the main astropath is sort of like they feel like a scream, and they're all like getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, actually, hold on. Before that, even there was like sort of a flash forward, pretty much saying what was going to happen, and it gives us like a brief thing of like Argyle Tall like on the ground bleeding, and a demon named Ingerthel is like crushing Zaphen in its hand, and it's like whispering to Argyle Tall like to like bring down the Gellerfield, like saying like, you know, the Gellerfield's been brought down, and they're invading, and Argyle Tall is pretty much dying, and then we go to like
they lead with like literally like, oh yeah, the main character
is dying.
God, I feel like we're not doing Argyle Tall justice. Oh, well, that's why you should read the book. That's why. Like, Argyle Tall, we're not describing how, like, level-headed and calm he is, and, like, how honorable he is to everyone around him.
Yeah.
Read the book.
There's, like, some more details later that really hammer home that I really want to talk about, but we'll get to those.
So, yeah, you get that flashback. They get to the edge of this massive storm, and, like, the astropath's like, oh, we hear screaming, and Lorgar, limitedly psychic, because he like represses it really hard, he's like, no, he hears his name being screamed. Then this is when they go down to Cadia.
Yep.
This is when they find the Cadia.
Yeah, the planet, the one that everyone memes.
Well, like, used to.
Yeah.
The fucking I love the fucking like Chaos Marines like pocket sanding like Cadian soldiers.
Yeah.
And like the fucking Cadian soldiers are like, "Oh, dude," and is like, "Why'd you do that?" And he's like, "Well, do you not recognize the planet that the planet where you came from?" And
Yeah.
it's just like, "Oh no, Cadia."
Yeah.
Um, this part's like, we could like, yeah, we could skim through this. So like, they go down to Cadia. Uh, the custodies are like, oh, like these guys are barbarians. We should kill them because they're all like bloody and tribal. And they all choose to live on these like really gross plains. Um, the custodians want to get him killed, but like Lorgar feels like a presence almost, and which is really weird. The custodians, which know almost every language, can't read Cadian, and they
Yeah.
can't read Colchizian either. But like, as the Cadians talk to the word bearers, like they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we can understand him. It sounds like Colchizian," and
It's like a weird dialect of it, yeah.
yeah, and like the custodian's like, "What do you mean? I know almost every language. Why can't I understand it?" And you're like, "Why can't they understand it? There's some warp
Something's
fuckery
weird.
going on." And then that's when it sort of settled into me, like, "Oh shit, Colchis wasn't a normal world.
No, yeah.
Colchizian isn't like just a different dialect. It is their religion was not good. There's some warp fuckery going on with
Yep.
the homeworld of the world bearers."
Oh, wait a minute.
Um,
I there's something else I forgot in my notes is after we initially get that like view of the main character dying, there's actually like another scene like right this is also before we land on the planets on Cadia.
mhm.
It's again forward in time. Apparently that whole scene where like, you know, where Argel and Zaphon quote unquote died, they were in the warp for 7 months and they had to eat human flesh and drink blood and
Well,
oil
no,
from like
I remember the way that it goes is that you get the flashback, then you get them going on Cadia, then. Well, no.
because isn't
How
it
does it
like
go? They find Argo, and then he goes to Lorgar, and then
Lorgar's
he
interviewing him and he's
recaps.
like, yeah, this is like, and the recap, and that's when they talk about Cadia.
Okay, yeah. So do
Yeah.
you wanna go through all that?
Yeah. So like, I can even like restart. Maybe we'll cut some out. I don't know. I don't know. Either way. Yeah, we'll do it live. So yeah, after the expeditionary fleet sets off, what happens is we get a flash forward to Argel and Zaphon being tormented by a demon named Ingerthel, who whispered to them to bring down the Gellerfield when they were in the warp. And they get like visions of how the entire human crew has been slaughtered. And then we
No. We keep fucking up. We keep fucking up
What?
because we only find out about Ingethel after he recaps going to Cadia.
No, but the demon refers to itself as Ingerthel. I remember this because I remember reading Ingerthel and in the demon encounter, and then Ingerthel on the planet,
Oh,
and then that hit me as like, wait, hold on, what
that
happened
didn't
there?
link in my brain. That's why I'm an idiot. Okay,
No.
yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. So Ingerthel, Ingerthel, like, you know, pretty much had them bring down the Gellerfield. All the human crew was slaughtered. And then we flash to Lorgar on his ship getting a hail from the ship that went into the warp. And you can see Argel and Zaphon, they're like, and a couple of other Marines, they're emaciated and
Only
starving.
33 survived.
I think it was like them two, and it was like I think it was like maybe a couple of others.
Yeah, like I think it was like they went from 100 to like 30, like something
Yes.
crazy.
It was, yeah. And they were like traumatized, and they said like, you know, we've been here 7 months waiting for you. And then Lorgar says, that's impossible. You just went into the warp like 60 seconds ago. And
Yeah.
like Argel like freaking out. And so they bring them all aboard the ship and start like, you know, helping them recover. And Lorgar, and like, you know, they explain how they had to eat human flesh and drink blood and oil to keep themselves alive. They even at some point started
Drink
killing each
engine
other.
oil?
Yeah,
No,
engine
they didn't
oil.
kill each other. They ate the bodies. They didn't kill them. They were
That's
specific about that. They
Okay,
became
yeah.
carrion feeders.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
So
I didn't get, because, like, I thought Space Marines can just, like, hibernate.
I think I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think, but, like, think about humans. Like, you do gotta eat something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Space Marine lore is weird.
But yeah, and then we get to Lorgar pretty much interviewing him, saying like, "Hey, what happened? Like, what do you remember?" And then we get the flashback to
Cadia.
how they landed on Cadia.
And then there's also another thing about the interview. Like we'll go through the bare bones of Cadia because we just covered it. So like, yeah, they go down. Cochizian. They don't know the Custodians don't know the language. Custodians want to eliminate them immediately. And then Lorgar eventually like told like, oh, you'll get your answer. You'll get your answer finally if you go to this ritual. They go to the ritual. Lorgar's already there, and there's 6 bodies.
I think it's 9 bodies.
Or 9 bodies on pikes, and they need 1 more. And like fucking Argotel's like, what are you doing? Like, how are you allowing this? And like Lorgar's like, no, like it was already like this when I got here. He's like, I need my answers.
Yeah, and during this time, like Ingerthel, who's like sort of the priestess who was talking to Lorgar, she's like at this point like naked, covered in human blood, and like dancing around a fire.
Yeah, and like she's begging with Lorgar, you need to make another sacrifice.
Yeah.
And Argotal, being like the voice of reason's like, is any answer worth what's going on now?
Yeah, because a lot of these, it's also noted, a lot of these Colchizians are like wearing like human flesh.
Yeah,
like
and
skins.
Like covered in yeah, no, it's like they are like barbarians, like warp worshippers, basically. They are like chaos cultists.
Yeah.
And then the custodian, who wasn't too happy with what was going on before, that they were letting him live, walks in on this scene. And that doesn't go over too well.
No.
That he's like, Lorgar, this is fucking... Like, I don't think he says heresy, because it's not, like, heretical.
Yeah.
But this is, like, barbarism. Madness, yeah. And he basically, like, he's like threatening to tell the Emperor, which they also don't know. Their messages haven't been going through, but we find that out later.
Yeah.
And he basically puts Lorgar at gunpoint with his halberd. And Lorgar is like almost like in a trance. Like he wasn't even like before this. He wasn't really even like answering Argeltal properly, if I remember. Like he was like, well, like I need to know, I don't know, like he doesn't want to make his own sacrifice that he has to choose, but like he's thinking about it.
Yeah,
he's thinking about it. And then custodian holding a Primarch at gunpoint, not really a good idea. When he's surrounded by fucking all of his like a lot of it, I think like a squad of Marines.
Yeah. Some of his most loyal ones.
And then like he shoots at Lorgar. Then the chapter master of the Serrated Sons, Dumas, which is basically the only thing he does in this book. Hello, Mr. President's Lorgar. Because Lorgar is like almost like he like doesn't know, like, is this worth it? Like I feel like he would have got shot and hurt if Dumas didn't do that.
Probably.
But then as that happens, I think Argotal's the one to like they get into a brawl, and I'm pretty sure Argotal's the one to kill him, or Zaphon is. Do you remember?
I can't remember actually off the top of my head.
Let's see. Oh yeah, he must use the 10 sacrifice. Oh, he gets gunned down on the Zaphon, and he gets impaled through the mouth by Argotal on the spear.
That's right.
On his own halberd. And he's still
that's
alive.
The 10th sacrifice.
and then they take his body, they put him up next to the other bodies, and the 10th sacrifice, and then like Ingethel starts doing her crazy dance and turns into this hideous, gross smelling demon.
Yeah.
And then and like also like fucking Ingethel like's transformation is like vicious.
Oh yeah, there's like a lot of body horror going on, like bones snapping, skin slewing off.
Yeah, it was gross. Like she basically gets turned to ash by the end of it and becomes a demon. And then Ingethel the Ascended, like Lorgar is getting kind of pissed off that there's so many steps going on right now. He's like,
yeah,
I thought I was gonna get my answers. Why do I have to do that? Like, why do I? Because like the demon's like, you must send your sons out on this voyage to find out the real truth. And
she will accompany them.
And then she will accompany them. And he's like, are they gonna die? And she's basically like, yeah, maybe. Kind of, like a little bit.
You know, we'll see.
And he chooses Argotal and his 7 Assault Company to do that. So a small fighter's done that. Blah, blah, blah. And then we get to the good part.
They also, I want to say, there's the scene of them bringing Ingethel on the ship. And,
and
Argotal is even saying, is like, listen, there's going to be something. Don't look at it. Don't listen to it. Just don't acknowledge its existence. And, like, the captain is just like, what do you mean? And then she sees it, and he's like, what the fuck? And almost throws up.
No, she does throw up.
She does throw up. She
just fucking throws up. Like, people start going insane. One that was really creepy was when one of the Fox Masters, which was also, like, a lover of the captain, like, says, I just heard this guy die on the Vox.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And then he stands up and he shoots the guy who died on the Vox.
Yeah.
And they actually, like, you could hear his scream. Like, I think it was the guy who, like, heard himself die? Or something?
Yeah, it's one of the most, like, surreal and, like, weird, like, sequences in the book, and it's so cool.
Yeah, no, it is a really good. Then after that, they bring them to the observation deck, and like it basically like tells them like, yeah, no, the warp is like, what do you think the warp is? And like they are under the idea that like the warp is just energy.
Yeah.
The whole like emperor's like imperial truth, like science, blah 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 blah. And she's like, no, that's where souls and gods meet. Then they bring them to the Eldar world.
Well, also, like, I want to say, like, when they're on the observation deck and they see into the warp, like, they start, like, staring, and then they can see, like, the faces of all the souls who are, like, screaming, and, like, it horrifies them. We're just like, oh, shit. What have we gotten ourselves into?
Then Ingethel starts forcing them the visions.
Yeah.
And brings them the Eldar world. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
And then she's basically, like, saying, like, the Eldar had the same choice as humanity, like trying to like frame the idea of like this primordial truth from the pilgrimage on these on like why they should worship these new gods. And then she shows them what happened to the Eldar when they didn't embrace it.
They tried to reject it.
Yeah, and obviously you know how the birth of Slaanesh goes, where she kind of comes in and then her demons just devour the Eldar race, and they're on the Eldar world seeing that happen.
Like floods of demons and just like natural disasters, like the world itself just breaking. Yeah. It's like they witnessed like a full-blown apocalypse.
And Ingethel's basically like, if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen to humanity.
Yeah.
Then one of my favorite scenes of the book, she takes them to Terra.
Before the Great Crusade.
Which also, I love how the Primarchs are built in a lab under the Himalayas.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. Like oh yeah, the Mount Everest still exists, and like there is the lab where his Primarch project was done. Yeah. So basically, like she's showing them like the first gene seeds for Sardes, which is the Dark Angels, and then they're like, is this like the actual thing? And what I think is weird during this whole thing, she's like, yeah, don't touch anyone or anything, or the
Yeah.
most horrible force will come upon you, the anathema, which is the emperor.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they are time traveling.
Yeah, that was like the more like one of the more bizarre things, and what kind of like really fucked with me.
Yeah,
Especially with what happens next.
Because like if they never did that, then would the Primarchs have ever been sent out?
Yeah, but then if the Primarchs hadn't been sent out, would that have even happened? It's like a weird time loop sort of thing.
Yeah, which I thought was cool. But
Yeah,
so
but,
basically,
this
we need to cover what they did.
Yeah.
And
also, all this time is like Ingrathel is also whispering to them to lower the Gellerfield to let her brethren in, because the Gellerfield is preventing demons from getting into the ship.
Yeah. Well, no. It's preventing them from getting into the Himalayas.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Gellerfield.
Well, there was that, but also like it was a mixture of two things. Like I think it was like also like somewhat like of an illusion. That's what I think is like it might have been an illusion, but like cover exactly what happened actually.
No. Okay, so they destroy the Gellerfield twice. So basically,
yeah,
they go through the caverns and they're like, oh wow, this is like Primarchs, and basically Ingathel is telling them that the Emperor basically bargained with the gods of the warp in order to create the Primarchs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he wants to deny their divinity. Divinity of the warp gods.
Which is what angers them so much, because they're like, wait, so there were gods this entire time, they were real, and he just lied to us.
But it's more the fact that since he's doing that, they're going to fall the same fate of the Eldar.
Yeah.
Because if he keeps denying them that the gods exist, like the Eldar did, then all of humanity is going to be destroyed. So they have this vision of like, they must do it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, destroy the Gellerfield in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
And then as they do that, I thought was so cool. He saw the most devastating yellow golden force come over him for a split second.
Yeah.
Which was the Emperor basically like psychically kicking them out of his, like, he's like, oh fuck my sons, and he's just sort of like, which
my
I
test
thought was
tubes!
Like, my fucking test, yeah. So returning briefly, like, he basically flashes through seeing all the Primarchs land on their different all their different worlds, and then they're back to the ship, and then she basically convinces them to lower the Gellerfield of the ship.
That's right. Yeah.
And then, as that happens, Ingathel turns on them and butchers all of them, killing them, obviously.
And that's when it returns to the scene that we saw beforehand with, like, her, like, strangling Zaphon.
But they all wake up again.
Yeah, they all, like, wake up and there's, like, was it an illusion, but they're still trapped in the warp, and warp fuckery.
Dead. Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Everyone's really decayed, like they've been there for months. So, like, you know, a lot of stuff was going on. I thought it was, like it was cool, like, how they came back and, like, all the bodies around them, like, were heavily decomposed. Like, they were also in the visions for a really long time.
Yeah.
Then, as they come back, like, Lorgar's, like, giving him these conversations, and as, like, Argel Tall is, like, recounting the story, he's, like, saying we, and, like, lashing out at Lorgar. And then,
he's
like,
speaking with, like, another voice.
He's, like, hissing, and Lorgar's, like, stop for a second, and, like, Argel Tall's like, what? And then he's like, I see two souls in you. And it's just sort of like this, he's like, what happened to you? And I feel like he says that earlier on in the interview, but when they died in the warp earlier, they came back by being possessed with demons.
Yeah.
And now they have a second soul in them. And that's when they become well, no, they don't become this yet. So they come back, they like heal him up. They order Cadian like tribes be wiped out from orbit, just so like so no one finds out what happened.
Yeah.
And then while Argel Tal was training with Aquilon, he like tells him like how Vendetta died and like how like multiple guys died. He's like, oh fuck.
That's actually one thing that I don't think we really touched on much, because I don't think it's come up too much, but Aquilon, the Custodes leader, and like Argel Tal are like sparring, and like they're not friends exactly, but they have like some kind of kinship.
Lorgar is basically, I think, or Lorgar or Erebus or Zafin told Argel Tal to keep the Custodes off the back.
Yeah.
And he's basically, but even though like this whole time, like Argel Tal has been sparring and becoming friends with Aquilon.
Yeah.
And it's
like
been,
they're
like,
not
really
close,
cool.
but they definitely respect one another.
So when Argel Tal like comes back and like they're like, oh yeah, you need to be the guy to lie to Aquilon about what happened, and like Argel's like, fuck,
because he'll trust you.
Yeah, and but Argel Tal like does kind of respect Aquilon, like they are kind of like friends.
Yeah, so he's not happy about having to lie to him, but he knows it's like for the better of the chapter that he has to do it.
Yeah, and okay, so then basically all the survivors from this mission are named the Galvorbak, which is the like this elite corps who have been possessed by demons, and they should need to keep their nature hidden. And they now must block any reports Aquilon sends to Terra.
Yeah.
So this is when the message blocking starts happening. Alright, so... Oh, wow. Part 3. Fucking... Damn, this is like when they do the 40-year time skip.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All this time, like, you know, bear in mind, 40 years Argel Tal had a demon whispering in his head.
Yeah. Oh, God, I remember this. Ah, fuck. This is when they bring that annoying character.
Oh, like the
Picturist.
the report, the Pictomancer or whatever.
Yeah, there's like there's a remembrancer.
Remembrancer, yeah.
Yeah, and then like, so basically, Argel Tal has been the Crimson Lord for like 40 years now.
Yeah, because they, the Galvorbak specifically are given like red armor to distinguish them.
Yeah, and so like what's been happening at this point? So this entire time, Aquilon and Argel Tal have been fighting side by side, for 40 years, mind you. Then like you have the Picturist going on. This is like basically. This 40 years is when they start making the warrior larges and start corrupting the other legions.
Yeah.
Then they have that weird fish city with that like fat queen.
Yeah, and part? I even have in my notes Torgal, one of Argel Tal's men, because apparently these like humans, they spliced their DNA with some alien DNA, and Torgal's like, oh, this is like a desecration. It's like, buddy, your chapter's got fucking demons in it, man. I don't know what to tell you.
But they don't really know what they are yet. Like, it's like, oh, but as like during this assault, they are all like incapacitated.
Yeah.
They all hear a scream in the back of their head.
Yeah.
And they're all like, is this like the time? And then so like there's also like a whole scene with the Picturist like going out to take pictures, but like, yeah, who cares about that? The Picturist like only is useful for one plot point. He's like annoying. I don't know. I didn't like the Picturist.
He didn't add much. I think like his main thing was
he was
just
goofy.
I think it was mostly just to give us like an outside perspective of the word bearers and how like the general Imperium like saw them.
Yeah, no, he was like kind of goofy. Like, well, yeah, no, he was saying like, which is also a really important point of the book. After the Legion was shamed at Monarchia, they caught up to and almost were the most like efficient Legion out of like they had the most compliances out of any other chapter.
Yeah.
Any other chapter when they were the least before.
Yeah.
So in those 40 years, they like settled so many worlds. So Yeah, no, like also, which is kind of cool, like as they were taking over the enemy palace, Aquilon and like Argotel kind of fight hand in hand because they've been sparring together for years, which is kind of a callback to the lack of brotherhood that the Custodes had, and now him and Argotel are like dunking with each other, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
So as they're like doing the final compliance on this world, they all hear this scream, and news reaches the expedition that Horus had betrayed the Emperor. And that's
when
big news is coming back.
Yep.
But now, this is one of my favorite scenes of the book. Basically, like, Argotal is racked with pain in his body. And, like, he is, like, transforming. And he needs to hide from Aquilon. Because he can't have Aquilon see him, like, spitting up black blood. And, like him not able to take off his armor. And, like, Aquilon's like, oh, we were supposed to spar.
Yeah, because at this point, his armor is, like, fused to him. He, like, can't remove it.
Yeah, it's, like, basically, like, it's so cool. So, like, he hears heartbeats and, like, all this, like, crazy stuff. And then, so who did he go to? He goes to Cyrene. Like, his trusted friend, like, who's the confessor of the chapter. And she's worried. She's like, who's there? And like, he's like, it's Argotal, but he's like so pained. She's like, are you hurt? Are you okay? And like, since he has a demon in him, he could literally like taste her fear and sorrow, and it like tastes delicious. But like, he loves Cyrene, that he like pushes like all that to the side and like holds it back. And he's like, I just like need somewhere to rest for a while. And she just comforts him. Mm-hmm. And he says that I will like die before I let anything like happen to her.
Yeah.
Or like let myself become so corrupted. And it's like said with so much conviction that also gives more like just credit to Argotal, just being like a Chad, like taking away like the will of a demon just because like she's friend. Nothing will happen to her.
Because it is like his body and his soul are like screaming to kill her and like tear into her flesh.
Yeah, no, it's like the succulent like beat of her carotid. Like it's like and he's like, I know that nothing will happen to her because I will not let that happen. And like the whole time she's like, are you okay? Like she's like so worried. Just an amazing scene.
I generally also liked how it kind of like put more of a perspective into like why the Chaos Astartes, or I guess specifically the possessed ones, do what they do. Like it's, I mean, obviously most of them are just like, you know, kind of crazy, but also like when you have something that is literally like agonizing you and torturing you unless you kill and maim, then like it's messed up.
So yeah, then at this point they basically like shove all the custodians on like separate ships and they stall those ships.
Yeah.
Then Lorgar, Iron Warriors, Night Lords, and Alpha Legion all race forward to support the Loyalists against Horus.
That's the face they're going with, at least.
Yeah. Ram. So in Argotol's like mind, as they're like going through the war speech, so like Lorgar comes in and he's talking to like he has the two Primarchs, he has the three other Primarchs around him, Alfarius, the Night Haunter, and who's the last one? Oh yeah, Perturabo, yeah. Peter Turbo. And Lorgar just gives such a good speech on like how they're gonna betray to the Emperor, and this is when Sevatar is the first person to say "Death to the False Emperor."
Yep, Sevatar being a captain of the Night Lords.
First captain of the Night Lords.
First captain specifically, yeah.
And it's also cool because like Sevatar like acknowledges Argotol for being like a Chad, and like Sevatar is like the biggest, like one of the most well known, because he's the first captain. But like as this is going on, and like
also
Lorgar's,
I don't think we specifically mentioned it, but at this point, by this point, Argyltal had been made chapter master of the Serrated Sun.
Yeah, no, I think I brought that up earlier. Like because he was when they made the Galvor back. That's when he became chapter master.
Yeah, I don't remember if we said that.
So as this is happening, like he hears the voice in his head named Rom, and he starts speaking to him like the time is coming, blah 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 blah, and telling him these prophecies that he will die in the shadow of great wings. So they basically all go down and go down to Esteban 5 to reinforce the Loyalist legions. This is like a dense part.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happens here.
It's very
All right. So, oh my god. What do we cover first? This is like... So, they get all set up. They, like, Peter Turbo's Iron Nerds are setting up fortifications. Like, and then the Raven Guard. This is probably, like, the most important part to me. One of the most important parts. He's setting up the Raven Guard. And, like, on his signal, they are going to betray their brothers. Or not brothers, like, cousins. But, like, they call each other brothers. And I remember this specifically. Argyltal notices a bracelet that he's kept. Do you remember this?
I don't know if I do, actually.
This is because the name of the book is The First Heretic, and like the whole implication is that Argyltal is technically the first heretic, because he's the person like calling down the first shot in Esteban 5.
He is, yeah.
Technically, like, you have other people, like, but I think he's the first heretic because he's the first one in a right state of mind on his own volition when he shouldn't, but his loyalty, like, not even his loyalty, but, like, he is, like, forced to become a heretic almost. I feel like this was trying to say, but I remember specifically, he looks down at this bracelet that he had from Cautious, which was given to him by his sister. And this was like, at this point, this is like in a split second. He's looking down at his wrist, and the Raven Guard is hailing him, like, "Oh, we need your support." And
they're like, coming up to them on the hill, like, basically retreating to try and like get some reprieve.
Yeah, and this is when, like, he's supposed to call the order. And he's looking down, and he, like, looks at it and thinks about it. He's like, how long have I had this? And he, like, thinks to himself, like, every couple, like, decades, he has to replace the string because it, like, unwinds. But he always puts the charms back on a new string and wears it. And he remembers, like, his sisters crying as he had to leave. One tried to give him a blanket. And then, like, he had a bracelet, and he just always kept this bracelet. And his mom talking to Erebus and, like, telling him his name, it means the fall. I think it's, like, the last angel.
I believe so, yeah.
And, like,
because this was specifically, like, Erebus had went to recruit him.
Yeah. I don't remember, like, the exact details and, like, what he goes through in this flashback, but it's almost like he remembers, like, what he's gone through and, like, what he's about to do. And he like, says specifically as he looks at the bracelet, he hasn't thought about his, like, parents in, like 100 years or something.
Yeah.
And, like, it's coming to him now as he's about to make this first shot. And then as he does it.
The way that I've kind of interpreted is, like, when he was recruited, he kind of, like, lost, like, some of his humanity because he had to become something greater. But now he's, like, now that he's got a demon inside of him and he's about to, like, do this, he's kind of throwing away the last of his humanity in order to do this thing that he thinks is necessary for humanity in overall.
Like, he left his parents being the last angel, and he's about to do, like, something he knows deep down is just heinous.
Yeah, and he's not happy about, like, any moment of it.
He's like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
And then he calls a shot. They start killing. And then I feel like they obviously have Esteban 5. Like, they just start decimating the loyalist forces.
Yeah, the drop site massacre.
The next most important thing, I feel like, is Corfeuron, Erebus, and Lorgar on his tank, as Lorgar is forced to watch this start to happen. Do you remember that? Do you want to cover it?
I do, and he's like weeping because he never wanted this. Like, this is worse than...
Like,
he found the truth, but it's just come to so much blood and death.
Like, Lorgar actually seeing it happen, he's like, I didn't want... Like, he's like going through the same thing that Argel Tal is. He's like, I didn't want this. Like, why is this happening? And then he sees Fulgrim and Ferris Madness. He's like, Fulgrim's gonna kill Ferris. Like, I don't... Like, he's my brother.
Like best friends.
He literally goes through a flashback of Ferris giving him his
hammer.
Crozius. Yeah. and like,
you know, Ferris was obviously, like, you know, he was kind of like short on words. Like, he didn't say much, but he was just like, it was still like a good gesture, and he appreciated it.
He's like, yeah, and he's like, but like, I'm killing my brothers here. Why am I doing this? But like, fucking Corfeuron's like so dismissive. He's like, this is what we've worked years for doing, and now you're gonna throw it all away? Now you back down? And like, Erebus, like, with his like sly fucking words, like, come on, like, we've worked years for this. This is what we've wanted. What's wrong? And it's just sort of like, I don't know, Lorgar just feels like so forced into this. It's just sort of like the real, obviously you see Corfeuron and Erebus are like the real architects behind this, and like Lorgar was just used, and he's like, he's like, fuck, I gotta do this. Like, it is.
It's like he rejected being the Emperor's tool, but unwittingly became a tool of Corfeuron and Erebus.
Yeah, so like he almost like is like unwillingly killing like the Loyalist Astartes, like he doesn't want to do it, but like he has to.
Yeah.
And then he sees fucking what's his name? Oh, Corvus Corvat. Yeah, he sees him slaughtering word bearers, and then I love this part because like it's almost like redeeming for Lorgar, where like Erebus and Corfeuron are trying to lead him away. Like, no, like you're supposed to be over here. No, don't fight him. You'll die. And he's like, he's slaughtering my sons. I must save them. Like, he's killing my sons. No, I can't let this happen. Because, like, Corvus Corvax is, like, he's, like, beyond rage is not a way to describe it. I think that's literally what they say in the book. Like, he wasn't rage or, like, wrathful. He was beyond any emotion of just pure, like, fury. Like,
there was literally, like, he was an embodiment of just hatred, pretty much.
Yeah. And he, like, Lorgar, like even though, like, obviously, like, Lorgar has been read long and he let these bad things happen, this is like the breaking point where he's not gonna let people tell him otherwise, and he willingly goes to die and face his brother just to save his sons, because like it's basically the only thing he has left.
Yeah, because Lorgar is, like, he's a Primarch, so he's obviously still powerful, but, like, of all the Primarchs, he is one of the least powerful fighters.
Oh yeah, you know, he is, like, so weak compared to, like, almost all the other Primarchs.
Yeah.
But he knowingly runs to his death for his sons. And, so... Oh yeah, he's killing the Galvorback. And
also at this point, like, the Galvorback have their transformation has begun.
When does he do the psychic scream?
Oh crap, I don't remember. I don't, off the top of my head, it's because it was such like a chaotic scene and like sequence of events.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay. I just, like, looked at the thing. So, as he's fighting, like, he's basically, like, runs up to, Corvus Corax and, like, blocks him from, like, killing the Galvorback. because the Gal Vorbak saw Korax like destroying the enemy lines, and they like rushing because they're the elite.
Yeah.
But he's just shredding them, and like Argo Tall, he's gonna die in the wings of like of a great angel. He's like thinking, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. This
don't
the
think
angel
we went much into like the transformation that actually happened.
Well, no, this is when it happens, because as he blocks him, he like lets out a
oh wait,
psychic
yeah,
scream.
you're right.
He lets out the psychic scream, and then the transformation begins to happen.
Yeah, that's it.
I forgot, like, kind of like just the whole conversation between Corvus Corax and Lorgar needs to be covered. That it's just Corvax is, he kind of just like, he's so wrathful, and like Lorgar seems like almost like a lost child during it.
Yeah, because it's like like you said, he didn't want any of this to happen. He doesn't want to be fighting Corvus now, but I mean, like, this whole situation, it's like, what, he doesn't even know what choice to make.
Yeah, and like Corax like is just like ragging on him, like almost like he like not like ragging on him, like oh, making fun of him, like he's like saying like how he, I think he like goes in like how he's like just blind, and like how could you do this, betrayal, because like Corvus Corax, his legion's decimated.
Yeah, they were slaughtered,
and like Lorgar is like just being pushed by him. Unfortunately, this is one of the parts of the book that our amazing memories can't remember all the lines. So what that means, guys, read the book.
Read
the book. Read the book.
Do it.
But as like he's getting pushed, like Lorgar basically, which he has suppressed his psychic power for years at this point, lets out a psychic scream, and the transformation happens, and all the Gal Vorbak go through. Basically, like, it's so painful that Argo Tall repeatedly tries to kill himself.
Oh yeah, like he is like actually, I even rip it out, he's actively like tearing open his stomach and like pulling out his guts and bones.
Yeah,
but
and Ron is like
the demon realm will not let him die.
Wait, maybe that's what he meant when he said you will die in the wings of a great angel. And it wasn't actual death, it was the transformation, and almost like the death of his soul.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it could be.
I think that's more what it meant. Okay, we just solved something. Awesome. So, but even though, like, Lorgar, like, powers up with his psychic scream from, like, all his unused psychic potentials after years, and he has all these demons around him, fucking the fight goes south for Lorgar, and fucking Corax like puts his lightning gauntlets in his stomach and starts pulling up.
Yeah, like just lifting him off the ground.
Yeah, and like it's like cutting into him. And then fucking Conrad Kurz like fucking Count Dracula ass voice like comes in, he's like, "You petulant worm, Lorgar! I spit on you and never want to see you again.
Yeah.
This is the last time I save you," and fucking gets Corax off of him.
Yeah. Conrad Kurz is such a dick.
Oh my god. Oh, well, just wait till you read, you get into fucking Talos, Uzaz. God. Alright, we're delaying for time. Let's get, like...
Also, I also want to specifically say about the Gal Vorbak is, like, they have basically, like, bone swords coming out of, like, their flesh. Like, their armor has now, it's not just fused to them, their armor has become their flesh, and it's just...
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
like,
no, like, there's a whole, like, thing in the book where Argo Tall feels the wind on his armor. Like, it's his skin. It's... Just look up the model for Argo Tall. You'll get what we're talking about. It is so fucking cool.
It's awesome.
Like, amazing.
Fucked up, but awesome.
So, they basically just go through killing. I think the next important scene is Argo Tall talking to Erebus.
I think,
after the battle.
I think in between, wasn't there something going up aboard the ship?
They find out when they get back.
find out when they get back, but it's happening while it's going down, I think.
Oh yeah, so as the ships as they find out like, oh shit, we're betrayed again.
Yeah.
The
The
loyalist
custodies
ships,
aboard the ward bearer's ship find out
they
like
don't
that
know.
shit's gone south.
No, that's not how they find out.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
So, the other ships start firing on the loyalist ships. The ship gets wrecked. Then we have the stupid side plot of the pictogram. I don't know. The guy is just described as like a dick, kind of like the pictogram guy, or like he's like incompetent, but he just falls into success. And then he takes a picture of Zaphin's special room, which has been used to block out the signals that when the custodies were on the ship,
they couldn't hail the Emperor and let him know.
Yeah.
They couldn't report to him.
And then he is so disgusted on what he takes a picture of, he immediately runs out. Then he goes to a bar, and Astropath is like, "Oh, like I see your distress. What's wrong?" And he's like, "I don't want to talk about it." Blah, 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 blah. And then the Astropath touches him, which lets him seize into his mind. And he's like, "I will." He like threatens to like, have like the custodian, because the Astropath is specifically for the custodian.
Yeah.
And he threatens to bring the custodian to kill him if he doesn't bring his picture, his camera to the custodian. Right. So the Astropath runs back to the to like the what do you call it, the deck, like where they because the custodians are finally coming in after the battle's done. And basically what he sees on the camera is Argyltal like hated this, and he waited for what was, oh my god, we've been talking for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a break. So what basically you walked in on was a chaos ritual where they were taking astropaths and possessing them with demons and feeding their souls to the warp to keep the messages from going through and only filter out the good ones. Yeah. And literally they had to, like, people were honored to do it, and Argyltal found out they burnt out the fastest, and they had to get unwilling subjects to torture to do this.
Yeah.
And Argyltal had to just because, like, he despised doing it, but he had to do it, he would wait until they would stop screaming to see that they gave up before he would leave the chamber and do it. And this is what Zaphin was doing. These are what the chaplains were doing, because the chaplains were really just the warp sorcerers of the word bearers. And basically they were all receiving nice little rituals from Erebus, our favorite guy, to do this setup. And that's basically the picture that he sends to Aquilon, who's on the ship. We'll come back to him. We'll come back to that whole little shit show.
Yeah.
After we talk about the conversation between Argyltal and Erebus. So, do you want to do this? My throat's a little sore.
No, that's fair. Hold on, I gotta refresh myself a little bit.
Let me help ponder with you. So, also during this whole conversation, Erebus is casually sliding his knife out and putting it in the throats of Raven Guard who are still alive on the surface, which I just feel is so brutal. And like, so he literally stops Argyltal mid-conversation, pulls out a knife, slits someone's throat, goes back to talking, which is just such an Erebus thing to do.
Yeah, he's just so nonchalant about everything. It's just like, it's all just a means to an end for him.
Oh yeah, no. So I remember this whole conversation was like, it's more like, what have you guys been doing while we were gone for 40 years? And he's like, do you really wish me to summarize everything we did in the 40 years of the Crusade? All the work that we put in? And then I think the big question was also, like, why he wanted him to keep the Custodies alive for so long. Because Argo Tall is so torn up about this because he's good friends with Aquilon at this point.
Yeah.
And, like, he's like, why didn't you just kill them in the beginning? Why did you have me keep them alive and keep them happy and, like, become friends with them? And Erebus was like, well, I needed their blood for rituals. Because his whole plan was to get the closest link to the Emperor to do rituals with. Because if you have living blood, you're able to do specific rituals. And the closer you are in gene scope, you can...
The more pure the blood, essentially.
Yeah, and it's based... And, like, the Custodians are the closest ones they have. And he's like, why not use a Primarch? And he's like, do you really think Lorgar would let us use that for rituals?
Yeah.
That's why you've been doing it. And Argo Tall is just like, they also go into, like... Because Argo Tall has beef with Erebus at this point. I don't think we brought this up.
Yeah, he knows that, like, Erebus is, like, a slimy bastard.
Because Erebus originally wanted Argo Tall in the chaplaincy. And he passed, but there's, like, a whole thing where I think Erebus threatened to kill him, or he threatened to kill Erebus. And Lorgar, like, mentioned it to him, Argo Tall, multiple times, like, Erebus still thinks highly of you. But Erebus is just, like, such a slimy fuck. Oh my god.
Yeah, and, like, I think Argotal also at this point, like, he knows that all of this is because Erebus, like, really pushed Lorgar to keep finding the truth and keep seeking it. Like, obviously he wanted to see it himself, but Erebus really pushed it. And so a lot of this, like, pain and death, not just for the Legion, but, like, all the Marines, it's all, like, it all comes back to Erebus. Like, so much of this is, like, part of... He set all of this in motion. Yeah.
And he's like, I think, like, bringing up that point, he's like, how much of the Book of Lorgar did Lorgar actually write? And Erebus is like, I penned a few pages. And, like, Lorgar is like, tell me the truth. He's like, I've written most of it.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, But also I love during this, like, Argo Tall is, like, still, like, kind of just recently untransformed from his demon form, and he's, like, snarling at Erebus.
Yeah, he's kind of coming down from it, but he's still, like, not fully there.
Yeah. Now,
Back to the ship.
Ugh.
So, I can run this down. Essentially what happened is, Aquilon pretty much vowed to, like, you know, find out the truth. Like, why was this going down? And so...
Now, Shawnee, what's the one person on the ship that has heard the secrets from every Marine for the past 40 years?
Yep. So Aquilon determines that Cyrene would have to have some sort of knowledge as to whatever the hell's going on. Even though... we know that Argotal, at the very least, and, like, they weren't really specific with a lot of, like, what was going on. Like, they never told her, like Argotal didn't even tell her about, like, you know, the fact that he was possessed. And
he might have, like, I think he might have. She probably knew some stuff, but, like,
she knew some stuff, but she didn't know to what degree.
Yeah,
she absolutely was not, like, as informed as the Custodes believed. But Aquilon was like, you know, hey, listen, we have to find her and we have to track her down. So they are, like, you know, scouring through the ship for her. But then, who do we meet but Xenu 73 and...
No, that's not how it goes. Because it's they walk into her room and they're like, you whore. You, like, they, like, curse at her. You are going to stand trial at the Imperium.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They like,
and then,
demand they're going to arrest her. Then Incarnadine, like,
Xenu 73 walks in. He's like, for the word bearers, for the Legion. And he fucking just shreds into them.
He just, like, unloads, like, thousands of rounds into them. And, like, they're, like, you know, they're spinning their spears, like, to deflect it. But it's not enough. And, like, they don't all die. I believe Aquilon,
one dies.
And I think... one of them dies. I know Aquilon definitely survives, but the fact that just this one robot took down a Custodes.
Oh yeah, and, like, a lot of them are hurt. Like,
yeah, they're wounded after it.
I also love the whole march of the Custodes through the fucking the Gargoyle Tall is getting messages as he's flying back up in his Thunderhawk. Like, they are shredding through the guard, which kind of gives him like a little bit more credit. The Custodes literally just walked through a ship. It was 5 dudes or 4 dudes because one died previously. 4 dudes literally just walked through a ship full of guard, and they just destroyed them. But then fucking good old like, oh, it's such a good scene.
But alas, Incarnadine does not make it.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm pretty sure Xenu is also killed.
Yeah, no, I
think he's like wounded, but like mortally, so like he doesn't survive.
You know, he walks over to Cyrene and checks her life signs, and she's still alive.
Yeah.
I think that was like or no, he goes in and he does like a data dump for like he does something. It's a cool scene. God, that Incarnadine scene is like, it's the way he does the audiobook really sells it here. It's so good.
And all the entire time, like, Argyle is like sprinting through the ship, like trying, like, this, well, after like the Custodes had already, like, you know, killed Incarnadine and like fled, Argyle is like sprinting through the ship, desperately trying to get to her in time, but he's too late, and he just like holds her in his arms, like, as she starts passing away, and it's gut-wrenching.
And then like before this point, like he tried to transform again into his like empowered form, and like he couldn't, and like he like sees like Cyrene die.
Yeah,
he blacks out, I think, for like a good 10 minutes after Cyrene dies. And he just wakes up as the demon.
Yeah, he's like he was like wrestling for control, I think.
You know, he ripped all the way down to the shuttle deck.
Yeah.
And then he finally got back to his senses and like ordered the entire ship to fire on the Custodes. They don't get blown up, but their ship does get sent down back to the surface of Instapon 5. Also, you got to remind me to bring up Cyrene's last message, cause like, ooh,
so the Argyle brings his boys, and they chase down the Custodes, and
they're basically like in a black. They all like because everyone loves Cyrene. Cyrene is like the heart of the Legion almost. Like, she is she is the Serrated Sun's like little trophy girl. Everyone loves her, and they just like, they are ripping to get these Custodes.
Yeah.
Then they go down. They find the dropship.
There's 3 Custodes surviving. One of them also, we forgot to mention, one of them like also has like a vow of silence, so he has not spoken at all throughout the entire book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they confront one another, and Argyle is not happy about having to do it, but he's also just driven so much by his rage at losing Cyrene.
Aquilon is his brother. He's like, how could you let this happen? Like, you know this is wrong. I know you know this is wrong. How could you let this happen?
Yeah.
And he's like, just sort of like, this is the whole question in the book is brought up again, is like, does Argyle have free will? Because it's brought up to like multiple times by Erebus and like Zaphon. Like, yeah, the flaw that might be in the word bearers is that they are too loyal to their Primarch.
Yeah,
they are undyingly loyal. They never question him whatsoever. And like fucking his brother, like fucking Aquilon is like saying like, how could you have let this happen? Like, look at you. You guys are demons malformed. Blah 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 blah. Like, yeah.
It's not a good scene. It's a good scene. Oh, it's a great scene. No, I'm saying
rough.
It's more like it's not a good time.
Yeah. So basically, they fight. Also, there's only 11 Gal Vorbeck left after the battle, and like, I think like 4 of them or 5 of them get slaughtered. Argyle kills Aquilon. It's not really like it's just sort of like a rush of a fight. Like it's so fast.
Yeah, it's kind of showing like how speedy like these superhumans are. Like it
Yeah.
happens in seconds.
Which kind of makes sense, like, to give credit, like, these 3 Custodies stood up against 11 gout, like, demon-infested, like, demon-empowered, Space Marines. Which this does seem kind of even. But there's, like, only one Custodes left, and it's the one who took a vow of silence.
Yep, and he hurls his spear at Zaphon, killing him.
Just like, oh yeah, it blasts his lungs out of the back of his chest.
Yeah.
And he breaks it because he's like, he's already paid his service to the Emperor. And he's like,
he's gonna die.
Yeah, and he's like, I always hated you, Zaphon. Because this entire book, Zaphon has just been a dickhead to the Custodes. Like, he's always pestered them about religion, and and this, like, it was almost like dark humor. Like, he's on his deathbed. He's about to be slaughtered by the Galborback. He's like, I've always hated your guts. Like, as he fucking just slays him.
And then, after that, it cuts back to Argyltal alone in his room. He's mourning the loss of his brothers, and I believe Zaphon. This is what you were saying, her last message.
Well, also, he has, like, the whole symbolism with Aquilon's spear. He took his spear.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because I remember they brought up, like, early in the book, like, yeah, Custodes' weapon's very prized for him. No one else would be able to wield it because it's handcrafted for them and gene-coded to them. Yeah. And he's just sort of, like, sitting down there staring at his spear. Just, like, ugh. From what I can remember on Cyrene's last message, it's almost like praising him. Like, I know you will lead this legion in the right direction, and you will bring us to the proper end for humanity and guide us correctly. And, like, saying how, like, she's so happy that she's on people who are doing the right thing. Right after Argyltal, like,
did the worst thing he could.
Not even, like did the worst. It's just sort of, like, after he's just been, like, questioning himself, like I'm about to, like, he's doing the worst thing. Like, he knows he's wrong. He's, like, living with this regret, and he just had to kill his own brother because he, like, basically, like, look at what you've done, look what you sowed, like, this is awful. How could you be privy to this and not like try to fix it?
Yeah, and like, then he's listening to that message while thinking, I failed Cyrene, I failed Aquilon, I failed Zaphon, and I failed myself.
Yeah, and it's just Cyrene, like, saying, like, I know you're doing the right thing. I know we're on the right side. I'm happy that I'm dying happy knowing that we're doing the right thing. But he's alive, and he knows that they did the wrong thing. They are on the wrong side. And then, like, she, like, basically, like, also don't forget, and then the message cuts off. And it's just like, ugh. It's just a lot.
It is, and while he's mourning the loss of his brothers and just, like, all of that, Realm's in his head saying that, hey, I'm your brother now.
Yeah. Ugh. So that was the First Heretic.
Yep.
So,
and what a book.
Yeah, what a book. All right. So a lot of the themes of the book were, like, a lot of religion, faith, loyalty. Like, what are you loyal to? What are you willing to, like, stand by and let happen for the sake of, like, are you, you know, like, not really, like, the nail that stands out. It didn't really have that theme of, like, oh, like, just following the line, but, like, more like trusting people are leading you in the right direction when it's actually not, and just, like, pushing away your own concerns.
Yeah, when you've got that gut feeling that something's wrong and you choose not to act on it because you just trust people above you, it's like, that's, well, look where it leads you.
Yeah, and, like, all that regret it could lead to, and, like how it could really just spiral out of your control where you have no more agency and you're just stuck in this awful position. I what I think the book did great was just the single character of Argyle, which you should read because you get a lot better description on how we do it. Because it really is in the nitty gritty of like what he says, how he talks, his playful half loving, half hating interactions with Zathan, like how Zathan's like he won't tell him this thing, but he's like kind of like a cheery guy. He's like how he's like a kind like caretaker for Cyrene, but like Cyrene also pays him back and is there for him in need, and how he like develops like an actual like brotherliness with Lorgar. I mean, not Lorgar, with Aquilon. And how Lorgar is like a father figure to him and is so kind. It does the character so well.
And it's also like a big tragedy of like Lorgar being a father figure, and yet he's doing all this and leading Argyle down a worse path, even if it wasn't his intention.
And Lorgar is being led by people he trusts down the wrong path, and like it's really just like it's so good. I feel like it did the characters great. It did most of the battles great. Like I can't. The only thing that I say was kind of subtracting from the book was the whole picture guy. Like his whole. They put way too much effort in his side. Like he was in any other book, his side story was funny and like kind of entertaining, but it just didn't fit. It just didn't fit here.
Nah, I think it's also because he only shows up in like the last act of the story, and it's like, wait, who is this guy?
Yeah, he like shows up out of nowhere and just sort of like,
Like I get what they were going for, and like I said, it's not terrible, but yeah, it's the weakest part of the book, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Overall, the writing of the book, amazing. Like
fantastic.
Like the way it does wordplay and descriptions, everything. Just I love.
The physical descriptions of everything are like we were even talking about, like the way that they describe like the demonic transformations and the body horror of it
or like
so
how
good.
Lorgar's blood has like a chemical stink to it in the room, heavy with like incense and myrrh, and like you get this like religious feeling, or like how Lorgar looks, or how it just so many amazing descriptions. As we said before, the characters 10 out of 10, probably some of the best characters. Like I don't know, I don't have any other comments. That just I loved all the characters in this book. It was fucking amazing.
They were because they all like there was also like enough friction with them where like you had so many cool interactions, like just the general friction between like the trying to balance the brotherhood and the friction that like Aquilon and Argyle had, because like at the end of the day, Aquilon was still effectively just like a watchdog and like a spy, more or less. And like Argyle, he's like trying to like balance like the faith and loyalty of his legion with like this genuine bond he has with him, with just another guy. It's yeah. For
me, it was more like Cyrene and Argyle, like that. I love every that did it for me. I'm going through our little like check over list at the end, like. The plot, was it satisfying? Like, yeah. Well, the plot, for me, is like... I usually hate somber, sad ends. But this one is somber in a way that's like everything is wrapped up together, but it's just crushing.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're unsatisfied, but it is so, like... just crushing at the end. It's just sort of like, wow, that really is, that's how it ends sometimes, and it for me, it did it perfectly.
Yeah, shit just hits the fan.
Yeah. How did you feel like the book flowed?
I think it was pretty well. I think the only thing is like the jump between like after the warp to like the 40-year time skip, it's like, hold on,
that was a bit much. Yeah,
there's a little bit much going on here. I think I feel like that was like a little bit jarring, but
that's the only point where you need to have like, not need, but it would be better to have some back context before stepping into this book,
some general knowledge of like what happens.
Yeah,
you don't need to know any of the specifics, just like, okay, these guys wanted to fight these guys because this.
Yeah, I do kind of agree. Like the last bit felt a little rushed because it was like a lot of things at once, and they did kind of just do that 40-year skip. But overall, I think it flowed really well.
Oh, very well.
I guess
at first I also wasn't like. At first, I wasn't a fan of like the whole like going back and forth like with the interview with Lorgar and Argyltal. But I think the more it went on, the more it's like, okay, the way this is formatted makes like a lot of sense, and it works really well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did like that. That was like a cool way how they did that time. It was fun. It was a way good way to do that. Before I ask for your ranking, what was your favorite scene in the book?
Oh God. I'm trying to think. I think one of my favorites is probably. It honestly might be the scene where Argyltal is like stumbling into the room with Cyrene as he's like fighting back Raum. Just like because it's showing like not only like, you know, what Chaos Astartes like have to like endure, but also how much willpower like he has. Like obviously he's still not a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination, but
yeah,
it shows that there is still some humanity in him, and he is like clinging on to that like as hard as he can.
For me, what I loved about that scene is like just like because this is uncommon, like just the close connection between a space marine and a human.
Yeah.
And how like he's willing to like rely on her and count on her to like protect him and keep like Akelon away from him, and like just have him calm down, have her calm him down. Since you said that as your scene, I'll pick my second favorite. Second favorite in the entire book. It's really a caught between Lorgar's like, I never wanted this, or just like the speech from the Emperor in the beginning, because that's just like such a force. I'd probably go with like Lorgar's I don't want this, because it's I feel like it really changed my opinion on Lorgar a lot. Like,
yeah, definitely.
How like this wasn't the Lorgar that we like know like later in the lore is not this Lorgar. It kind of like puts home like how the word bearers are like really like it's sad what happened to them. They didn't deserve what happened.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah. So yeah, I would put that. I would give what am I ranking this book out of? Let me think. I'm giving it 9 words out of 10 words.
9 words out of 10.
What are you giving it? Out of what?
I think I'm gonna give it like probably the same. Probably like 9 out of 10. 9 demons out of 10.
9 demons out of 10.
Yeah.
Not 9 ROMs out of 10.
9 ROMs out of 10.
Oh yeah. So this is basically the end. Thank you for listening. If you got all the way here.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to our dumb voices.
Yeah. Remember to email us any questions, comments, or concerns. Well, no concerns. We don't really. You know,
I'm
if you do have a concern,
with your concerns.
You know what? If you're concerned, yeah, let us know. Our email is bolterandbook, just no caps. Well, caps don't matter for email, I don't think. And
I'll put it up on the screen here, just like boom,
boom, boom.
Yeah.
You get 5 big booms. Boom! 1 virus bomb. 2 virus bomb. 1 Grozy is
No, yeah. So yeah, like also leave a like, subscribe. Oh
wait, we need to tell them our next book.
Oh yeah.
Do.
Why don't you do the honors?
No. Well, you know, there is a very, very unhappy little Black Templar who doesn't like his little positioning that he got from, I think it's Helbrecht?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it's whatever the fucking, the crusade manager of that those fuckers are.
The manager.
Yeah, Crusade. Like, yeah, he's not too pleased on his assignment to Hell's Reach.
Yeah.
Oh God, we need to like are we just gonna cover bangers, or are we also gonna do some of the shit book? Well, we're gonna hope maybe we'll do all the books, and then so we will have to cover the.
We'll do whichever ones. Like, you know, we'll kind of just play it by ear, unless someone like, hey, maybe y'all want to suggest some ones that we cover.
In the email.
You know? Yep,
in the
throw
email.
them in there.
Yeah, down there. How do we end it? How do we?
I killed a man in the summer of 2013.